Hey now. Hey now. What is up, everybody? We're live.
Hey now.
And I gotta raise EB back up. I got a Jesse and I got an EB. And we're gonna do the List Critics Remastered. Let me go ahead and post on all the Discords and everything and social media.
Let me just dust off my shoulders. It's been a while.
Dust off your shoulders. Oh, you ain't shit for that one. It actually wasn't that long. A little more than an hour. A little more than a year, right?
But boy, does it feel like forever.
Well, I think every year feels like a decade now.
We just put Jesse in the closet until now.
There you go, yeah.
I think we're still in 2020, aren't we?
It's like 2020 Redux, and then 2020 Remastered, and then Son of 2020, 2020 Reboot, you know.
No, this is the remake, so there's no JRPG elements here.
They went full rhythm game.
Aye.
Well, that was what they were going to do with Final Fantasy 15 was going to be a rhythm game at one point.
All right, that's kind of weird. Like a proper numbered Final Fantasy is just going to be a rhythm game?
Yeah.
But that's what
hey, Alice.
Tetsuya Nomura. Isn't there a Kingdom Hearts game you could be working on?
I know, right? Hey, Melamo Steven, what's up? So, let me go ahead and post on all the Discords and everything. You know, considering like the 80s punk neo wave vibe that I have for the new List Critics logo. Hey, Riddle. The Mummy Demastered soundtrack is perfect for our intro.
And that is a bumpin' soundtrack. I didn't even know. I was sleeping on this game the whole time.
I had no idea until, hey, Elise. EB mentions, by the way, there's a Metroidvania based on The Mummy, you know, the bad one. And it's supposedly really good. And they got it for me, and I'm like, okay, I heard this game is good. And the week before when I was playing Super Metroid, I was like, let's play the soundtrack to the next game that I'm going to be streaming, which is The Mummy Demastered. And I'm like, holy shit, these beats are fresh. Snap.
They're so fresh, you just pulled them out of the dirt.
Yeah, like farm to table beats. Farm to table
And the
beats.
game was good too.
The game was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did not enjoy the one aspect of how they... I thought it was cool at first how they handled what happens when you die. Because, Jesse, what happens is you're a nameless agent, right? And when you die, you're just dead. And they send another agent in. So you're a different guy, right?
Ah.
But you start out with nothing, and you have to find the previous guy's zombie and kill it to get all your stuff back.
Oh, so it's like a Dark Souls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But here's the thing. Early, mid-game, it's fine. I died once in late game, and I had to travel through a lot of really nasty enemies with a pea shooter and no health just to get to my zombie and get wrecked by it because it had grenades and all these cool weapons and shit. And every time you die, another zombie is there.
Oh, so the zombie has your shit, your powers
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're not terribly bright. They're kind of slow on the uptake when it comes to aiming and everything, but it sucks. They do throw grenades, and it took me a while to dig myself out of that hole. Yeah, vicious cycle, exactly. Hollow Knight, but harder, yeah. Well, Hollow Knight, you can't have more than one shade. Now, can everybody tell me how the audio levels are for Jesse and for EB? Can you guys hear them all right before we start?
I'm talking.
This is the sound of my voice.
And of course, there's the inevitable stream delay before we find out. Okay, well, according to Elise, you both sound good.
Hooray.
Nice.
And Riddle and Alice agree. Yeah, I had to tweak them both a little bit, but yeah, I think they're good. I just want to make sure we get feedback here, you know? Now, I know, Jesse, we did some long episodes in the past, but this is going to be strictly till 9, okay?
Hey, I'm cool with that. Keep it condensed. Keep it cool.
Well, the reason is because a bunch of people in my community run over to the cartoon club at 9, and it's anime night, you know. And even though I don't personally do it, a lot of people do. So
People love that Japanimation.
yeah. Wow, I haven't heard that term since the 80s.
I haven't heard it since the 90s.
Japanimation. They used to call it. Makes sense. Japan animation, but then the term anime started becoming popular, and that's what everybody started saying.
Yeah.
Only 90s kids, ...
Jesus. They're watching.
That was old school.
They're watching that Psycho Pass, which I've never heard of, but very popular.
I couldn't get into it. I tried watching it the first night. I said I might give it another try at some other point, but I didn't have. There was stuff going on. I didn't have like the.
Yeah, and I like generally having my Wednesday nights off. You know, which is why I was like, oh wait, I have Wednesdays. I can do list critics on Wednesdays, because previously it was like, oh, we always had to do it on the weekend because of Noun.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Like,
But hey, we're past that now.
We are so past it. Yeah, this isn't even the list critics. It's not the list critics 2. It's the list critics remastered.
List critics rebastard.
Rebastard. Yeah, that's what some of the former hosts would probably call it.
I like it.
Yeah.
What game was it that had a remaster called Rebastard?
I don't even know. I thought you just made that up now.
No, I'm gonna look it up. 'Cause
Yeah.
I heard it somewhere.
Find out.
Shouldn't have said anything. I thought you were being clever.
Yeah, you know how many times that's happened though, where I think somebody's like being really clever and they're just making a reference that I don't get.
Oh, it's what Jim Steph Sterling referred to Modern Warfare Remastered.
Ah, that makes sense.
They
Yep.
were the ones who were clever.
That's what Elise. Steph Sterling is extremely clever.
Yeah.
Extremely clever.
Oh, it's not my head.
You know Jimquisition, right? A show on YouTube about problems in the gaming industry. You've never heard of the great James Stephanie Sterling? Wow.
It's not ringing any bells.
It's a great show. It's every Monday, rain or shine or whatever.
It's not chinging any chimes.
Yeah, great
There's
show.
an episode that they did from literally their hospital room because they refused to miss them.
Yeah, they've never missed a Monday.
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah.
They were
And
trying to find things in the hospital room that they could use as props.
yeah. It's like a Simpsons gag. You're wasting thousands of dollars of precious interferon. And they squirt him in the mouth. He's like, that cured my canker sores. Well, I'll be. Oh dear.
Yeah.
But Steph Sterling's been railing against the NFTs and everything, and they were the ones that came up with NFT stands for nasty fucking things. So
Yeah, it sounds about right. I don't get it, so I just step back.
there ain't much to get. I raided them shortly after that episode on Twitch, and in my raid message I said the only NFTs that matter are nice fucking tits.
I agree.
Yeah. To which James Steph points at their own chest and goes, "Oh, have you seen these fucking things? They're fucking ridiculous." Yo, Ross.
They are pretty banging.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they're implants or if that's some serious hormone therapy, because all of a sudden, Jim Steph has hooters.
I know.
Not little nubs, but like big mommy milkers, as the kids say.
A couple of double H hangers.
Double H. See, now I can't wait to get Riddle on next month, because Riddle's reactions to puns is sort of like my reaction to puns back in the day.
Which was, ooh.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Before I became like such a dad, you know?
My favorite reactions of yours were just the straight up no.
Yeah, just no. And now I'm just as bad as you are, if not worse.
Yes, coming to the
having the nephews, you know, you have to come up with ways to make your your kids or your sister's kids laugh without, going too blue.
I had a thought the other day about specifically Nathan because of his age. I can't remember what it was. I was thinking it was something that you should do because Robbie's too old to fall for it, but Nathan would probably still be.
Oh, if you remember, let me know because it sounds good. If it's me messing with them.
You tried convincing them that color wasn't invented.
I did that to Robbie.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Color was an invention?
I basically did the Calvin and Hobbes thing. It was a few years ago, and Robbie's like, what did the first Pokemon game look like? And I all right, here you go, I had Game Boy emulator, Where's the color? I was like, color wasn't around back then. Everything was in black and white.
Yeah, just look at whenever you see a flashback in a TV show.
Yeah, yeah, and then when they had color, it was kind of messed up for a while. It wasn't right. Hey, Moogle.
Took a while for them to get it right.
Yeah, they had that Technicolor. It was a little oversaturated. And with that fading out, we're going to come over here. We don't need to play the intro, but we're going to come over here and let's get into the List Critics Remastered. First, let me go ahead and introduce the fam. We got my loyal co-host with me, as always, Jesse Armageddon Time Fulling.
Giggity giggity goo.
And our first ever guest host on the List Critics Remastered, we have the one, the myth, the legend, the Council of NBs presents EB Agent J.
What are you talking about? I've always been here.
Yeah.
In one form or another.
EB was looming over us previously. Just
yes.
You were playing Loom? That's a pretty sweet game.
Have you ever played Loom, EB?
No, actually, I haven't.
I didn't think so. All right, and even though this is the very first episode, we begin as we always do, with Tumblr Gets Deep.
You just can't break some traditions.
Yeah.
I always quote that, just randomly I'll say.
Yeah, you'll just say it out of nowhere. We begin as always with Tumblr Gets Deep. It's funny because I think the last time you said that is what put the seed in my mind that we ought to bring back List Critics in some form. And and to let you guys know exactly what was happening, as with all my best thinking, I was nude because I was in the shower. and the logo came into my head, like I saw it before my eyes. Now, if you're thinking the exact logo that you're looking at on screen, no, a logo appeared, and it said the List Critics Remastered. And I went open to Photoshop and I tried to recreate it, and I failed miserably because I made a way cooler logo than what I had originally seen in my head.
Failed successfully.
Yeah, tasks failed successfully.
You failed up.
I failed up. There you go. There you go. And I thought, if I do this, it 100% has to be me and Jesse and then a rotating third person. Hey, Manic. All right, so Tumblr Gets Deep. Here we go. Number 1. That house says, they say bros before hoes, but neglect to mention the bros are the hoes. And then they say, me and the boy toys. And Meow the Fluffy says, yeah, I'll reblog that.
When the bros are the hoes, then
it's
just a weird circle of negativity.
They are the himbos.
Yes. Himbros.
Himbros.
He's a mimbo.
Yeah. All right, number 2, Dave Kurtzy says, say what you will, old people gossip is so much more entertaining than young person gossip. Riley J. the sophomore is in trouble because she got caught vaping in the bathroom. Cool, I guess. Old lady Betsy from my church just admitted to killing her father with cyanide back in the 50s, and also she made the almond tea for the church meeting. Everyone shut up. Margaret just implied that Ruth's husband left her because her pancakes lack airiness. Things are getting intense.
Oh my god, there's so much baggage. It's because of the baggage.
I think it's just church gossip. That's great.
Old people go hard.
They do.
Really do. I had to tell you a story. I was at a restaurant once, this restaurant near me called the Water Wheel, and they have a wonderful breakfast, and I was in there for breakfast, and they had just opened, so there weren't a lot of people in there yet. It was like me, maybe like 1 or 2 other people, and then this table full of old people, and I swear, this is me and my friends 30, 40 years from now, right? They were having the filthiest conversation that you could imagine. The filthiest conversation. And at one point, one of them had to bring the waitress over because the English muffin was hard, right? So he's like, touch it, see how hard it is. And she's like, no, I believe you. And he's like, come on, touch it, touch the thing. And she's like, no, I believe you. And he says something like, you shouldn't have to believe me. You should have known it was that hard when you came into work this morning and it was holding the door open for you. It's like, man. Damn, they go hard. Okay.
Literally and figuratively.
Ew. Number 3, excessively sesquipedalian says, my asshole cat, it could just end there, but let's continue. My asshole cat once again comes to me and does his usual indications for, hey, there's a problem I need you to fix, please help. Because I love him and he is weirdly smart and actually really good at figuring out problems and getting help, like when he lets me know the bird feeder is empty because he wants to watch the birds. I trustingly get up and follow him. He reaches the window, outside of which is a thunderstorm. He is very afraid of thunderstorms and normally does not go anywhere near the windows when they happen. Upon reaching the window, he indicates in his usual fashion, here is the problem, please fix it. No idea whether to be flattered and endeared that my cat thinks I control the weather, or frustrated because my cat is now mad at me for refusing to control the weather on his behalf. This is the second time this has happened.
Dude, just close the window or put the drapes down or something.
You know what?
Your cat.
You know what? That would have been a good... You are God to your cat, but that would have been a good solution. Just, here, you can't see it, so it doesn't exist, right?
There's, two kinds of cat relationships. Either you're God to your cat, or the cat thinks that they're your God. Sometimes it happens at the same time.
Yeah, sometimes it's both of those things.
Depends on what they need.
All right, number 4, Death420 says, me on Hell's Kitchen. Why isn't your pasta boiling? Oh, shit. Doesn't look at it. Pasta boils. How the hell did you do that? Do what? Looks at pasta. Pasta stops boiling. And then Philip Banks says, looks away from Gordon and boils him. It's that one. Fucking hot in here. All right. Number 5. First, we have a screenshot from a news site called U.S. Uncut, and the headline here is, a toddler has shot a person every week in the U.S. for 2 years straight. Why hasn't anyone stopped him? And
that was my question. Why did you stop this toddler?
And Otto's got... Oh, God, what does this say? Otto's got the real Glock, says he's the Marine Corps' best rifleman.
Man, imagine all the dog tags.
Right. Number 6. Okay, so Emerald Imperial posts this picture, says, please look at my cat's feet. It's a picture of the cat's feet. They have little hearts right above their feet. The front 2 paws, right?
Aww.
And Setherverman says, ankle tattoos. What a hipster.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Number 7. Sherlock says, I'm upset because I want to change the world, but the world is too big and people are too mean. And then Waffles Veterinary says, do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now, walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Rabbi Tarfon. Well, that's a positive message, right?
It's a little deep.
Hi, Derek.
Well, Tumblr is getting deep.
Sometimes they get deep, and sometimes they just get silly.
The way I look at it is go outside, pull a weed, boom, world change, drop the mic.
Do one entire weed.
I was railing on Twitter before this, so kinda.
You were doing lines on Twitter?
I was railing. Yes, I was.
Yeah. Hey, look, I know what it is.
Right off of the.
I get right off of Jack Dorsey's asshole, right?
Yes.
Hey, look, I went to war with a freaking Italian record label on Facebook the other day. I know what it's like. All right, so number 8, Mexicanine says, oh my God, I found this video on YouTube called Elk Hunting Chihuahua, and the guy is like, make sure you have a good hunting dog, and just opens his backpack to reveal his little Chihuahua named Coco and tells us how amazing she is at hunting. Then he just whips her out and says, you got to have one of these things. They can track. They're just the best hunting dogs in the world. And that was the whole video. And honestly, I've never wanted a Chihuahua more in my life. And then Tangerang says, there is a picture from the video, but that this is the reply to. Tangerang says, I'm crying. He's holding her like an orange. And he is.
Oh my God.
Imagine the way you'd hold an orange in front of you in your hand. He's got the little Chihuahua there.
That is a compact dog.
Yeah. Well, Chihuahuas are weird because they look like big dogs that are still really far away. All right.
Yeah.
Number 9, Jan PDF says, my proposal for Humans 2.0. Wings, detachable tits, better knees, and ears that you can turn on and off. Rowan is a legal derp says, I agree but would like to add reinforced spines, and Angel's Moonlight adds more eyes. I think all of these are improvements, right?
I think they're trying to turn us into a biblically accurate angel, too.
Did the biblically accurate angels have detachable tits, though?
They could.
I mean, maybe.
Have you seen an angel, a proper angel, before? Do you know?
No, I don't know, and if I did, I probably wouldn't stare at their tits. It seems rude.
I know, according to the movie Dogma, they have no genitals.
There you go.
Just a fleshy pouch.
All right. So number 10, Princess of Kazakhstan shares this picture of this little girl in what I can only assume is a Halloween costume. You can't tell what's really going on. It just looks like she's got this giant black thing strapped to her back. Then when she lays flat on the ground, she's a hermit crab. So Will 106 says, weirdo little kids are my favorite kinds of people. Coco Garapino says she could lie face down on a skateboard and slide at people. And
awesome.
Joan Hello 2 says, imagine you're an adult sitting at your front door handing out treats to the usual little vampires and witches and trademark superheroes, and this giant horseshoe crab comes rolling up the front walk, and then it stands up and there's this little girl inside of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be like, thank fuck. I thought I was being attacked by a giant hermit crab.
The last year I was at the convention that it was actually good. There was like this kid, maybe 5 or 6 years old, was cosplaying as a Transformer, and it was just like pieces of cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't look that impressive. But then you walk up to him and say, nice costume, and he would get down on the floor and pull all the pieces in. He actually looked like a fucking truck.
That's pretty sweet.
Dude!
That's pretty sweet. All right, number 11. Wow. Okay, first of all, I have to point out that this person's URL is girl balls. And secondly, their image is Noelle from Deltarune, so just imagine that. So Girl Balls here says, someone needs to invent reverse cornflakes. I want to eat a cereal that just gives me a demonic erection and inflicts upon me an insatiable lust.
We talked about that one on
yeah.
the stalls, actually. Somebody posted that one there.
Yeah, and then somebody just replies with salt and vinegar chips.
Yes.
And Girl Balls writes, congratulations for writing the funniest and also most correct tags on the post. Hi, June.
On the stalls, we ended up having to explain that, cornflakes were originally invented to try to prevent people from getting horny, like graham crackers or.
Yeah, Dr. Kellogg was a bit of a fucking maniac.
Yes.
Wasn't Special K supposed to be like a complete meal replacement too?
Yeah, but which is weird because in the ads they're always adding shit like bananas and strawberries to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 12, Lucifer laughs. Well, this is picture these like weird demonic glowing cats or something. It says, scientists have discovered how to make glow-in-the-dark cats by inserting the jellyfish genes that create fluorescent proteins into feline eggs. And then Words with Kitty Witch writes, I need to check that this was real, and apparently it is. What's more, the end goal in these experiments is to fight feline AIDS, creating glow-in-the-dark cats as a side effect. This might be the greatest sentence that I write this year.
I heard about the jellyfish thing. I didn't know that's why they were doing it.
Well, there's more. I didn't realize I scrolled down and there's more to this. Super Science Geek says, okay, so the short version is that scientists want to insert a useful gene, but they have no way of knowing if the useful gene actually got incorporated into the cat or other animal's DNA, so they glue the glow gene to the useful gene. If the animal glows, both genes got inserted successfully.
I mean, couldn't they just want to do it because it's super cool?
That's more of a mad scientist thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, if you want to get, like, grants and research funding, you got to have, like, some sort of hypothesis to go on, right? Not just, won't this be awesome? Because otherwise you're standing there like, gentlemen, behold my glow-in-the-dark pussycat! It would be weird.
But, I mean, you could use anything, like a specific pattern of color, specific eye shape or eye color or something like that. But no, let's make them glow.
But there's no mistaking that, right? Because cats don't normally glow. All right.
Maybe after some cat coitus.
Oh, God. Number 13, Easy Bree says, science has confirmed that dogs love us back because they get the same rush of oxytocin when they look at us that we get when we look at them. Rabina Otaku says, are you telling me dogs are looking up to us and think, oh my God, what an adorable fucking cutie pie? And then Dear Bunny says, a while ago I read an article about how dogs love us back but recognize that we're different from them, while cats see us as bigger and clumsier than them but do not consider us different. I read that same article, by the way. Princess Shatter says, dogs. I am fuzzy creature and you are different adorable creature and I love you. Cats. I am lanky and graceful and you're a giant mess. Pari Pixel writes, this is why cats occasionally try to bathe and feed us. Dead Mom Jokes writes, it's true, cats see us as giant, dumb, hairless babies. That's why they bring us half-dead prey, to teach us how to hunt and eat properly. That's why they attack when we rub their bellies. That's how parent cats teach kittens to defend themselves. That's also why they meow. Cats communicate with other adults on a frequency we can't hear, but meow at kittens because their ears aren't fully developed. They even specialized a set of meows they use only for humans because we are especially deaf babies. We are all of us dumb kittens. And then Apocalypse Visionary says, today I learned that I am a dumb kitten. And Jezza Red says, I can totally live with that.
I've
Yeah,
actually
I ain't
heard
even
that
mad.
before.
I ain't mad either. Let's go with that. All right, number 14, Salty Survivors writes, gonna tell you all what I can hear now that I've got my hearing aids. Birds. They chirp and it's so beautiful. Faraway cow moos. My friend has this in his backyard, and to say I cried is an understatement. It's like a koi pond with running water. My best friend's singing voice. Chickens, chicken noise, me sobbing. The filter for my fish tank, bubble, bubble, bubble. It just ends there, but it's kind of wholesome. They're like, whoa, I can hear, and just enjoying all the little things, right?
Yeah.
It really is like the precious little things. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just got to stop it, but there's all this other noise around you keep thinking about.
Well, remember when you had that one operation where you had like really super good eyesight for a while, and I was like, dude, you got to watch Star Trek.
And I did.
Like, you appreciate it even more, right?
Oh, I could see every single little makeup error.
Yeah, of course.
I heard, like, one of the common things that surprise deaf people when they get hearing aids or cochlear implants for the first time is they expect the sun to make noise.
Well, that's a weird one.
Like, they expect it to have, like, a hum or something to it.
If it did, it probably would, like a whoa, whoa.
It probably does. It's just, 90 million miles away, right?
I mean, Jude could probably confirm whether this is true.
Alice says the sun makes noise. Except we can't hear it, right? We're 90 million light years away. Million miles, not light years. Okay, so number 15, Just Shower Thought says, eventually they'll need to reinvent Superman's alter ego because nobody reads newspapers anymore. Hella Donkafant says, Clark Kent, the BuzzFeed editor.
Oh, no. I don't see him doing BuzzFeed.
Ms. Harleen F. Quinzel writes, 10 people who are definitely not Superman. And then the next reply is from BuzzFeed. And they just wrote, sweats nervously.
Haven't they already updated it so that the Daily Planet's, like, online?
Yeah, the dailyplanet.com. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Number 16. This one starts with a tweet actually from Bad D. It's shared by Shieldfoss. Says, algorithms are causing human language to reroute around them in real time. I'm listening to this YouTuber say things like the bad guy unalived his minions because words like kill are associated with demonetization. Gee, I wonder if that's the one you were talking about, EB. Remember you were yeah.
You just got convinced to stop doing that because he's been doing it for years.
It's old now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Academics are trying to reconstruct what went wrong in 1,000 years. Are going to think demonetization is a variant of demonization, which is incorrect, but only technically. And Shacklesburst says these words were invoked for ritual purposes. And Wiseclee says, it was believed that certain words had the power to attract the wrath of a feared entity called the algorithm, whose assumed powers were as far-reaching as they were vague.
God, I'm going to hate when demonsterization becomes real.
Removing the monsters? That doesn't sound good. We need more monsters, not less.
Yeah.
All right, number 17. Known Tune says, Ringo, my dog, has officially made it his role in the universe to completely ruin the life of one possum specifically. We have a fig tree in the backyard, which, as you could guess, sees a lot of late-night animal visitors. The latest animal pal to snag some figs has been a possum that is now twice been in Ringo's mouth, and both times Ringo almost charged his way into the house with it and has miraculously survived both times. Buddy, I know figs are probably hard to come by in the possum world, but it's not worth it. The possum, after experiencing his second near-death experience within the span of a week, this picture of a very happy-looking possum with a thought bubble above his head that says, figs. All right. Number 18, Pretty Doodle Oodle says, I want emo versions of idioms. Like, instead of you're barking up the wrong tree, it's you're panicking at the wrong disco. And Scanalan says, you can lead a horse to evanescence, but you can't bring him back to life.
That's good.
And Nova Kane says, this isn't my first Black Parade.
Oh, yeah. That song.
All right.
Unironically love that song and that album. So
I've never heard it, so I have no opinions there.
Concept album. It's actually really good.
Ah. Okay, so number 19, Crowsan Tusker posts a picture of a very unfortunate mug. It says, Christ is coming. Are you swallowing? And they wrote, like, I know we Christians often have signs and slogans that clearly weren't thought out, but what the literal actual fuck is this supposed to mean? All right, number 20. Wow. Cephalotod says, Big Bang Theory is awful for obvious reasons, but honestly, shout out to them for inventing Bazinga so I have a word I can drop into any conversation for a one-hit kill. And Schmuddle writes, Bazinga and every pony are the closest we will get to real-word dragon shouts. Oh, my God.
Every pony?
That's what bronies say instead of everybody.
My Little Pony, instead of everybody, they say every pony. So.
Yeah. And then One for All plus Ultra puts like a Photoshop of a shout from Skyrim, and it says, Unrelenting Frenzy. Hello, every pony Bazinga. Causes all creatures within a 100-meter radius to enter into a frenzied state for 10 minutes. I don't like this. All right. And, wait, there's actually 20. How many are there? Damn. Oh, there's 25 this time. There's usually only... Wait, no, there's more than 20. How many are there? Okay, all right. There's 28. It's a site called Pleated Jeans. It's actually the same people that do Obvious Plant.
Okay.
All right, number 21, Bad Jokes by Jeff writes, For extra cash, consider robbing sex offenders. Their address is easy to find, and they can't own guns. Only downside is politicians usually have good security. Oh, bird. And then Overlord Puffin just writes, Jeff. And Raska writes, I don't know if to laugh or cry.
You can do both.
Oh, my God. Yeah, cry laughing.
Bad Jokes by Jeff's pretty common, and people keep saying, damn it, Jeff, we keep telling you have to change your name.
I know.
Obviously, the jokes aren't bad.
Number 22, Woodrider writes, Bruh, this coffee I bought is so good. I'm so fucking alert right now, I could probably do a math problem. And then Elite Night Cats writes, Correctly? And Woodrider says, I don't know.
It don't matter. You just start
It doesn't
scrolling.
matter, yeah. Number 23, Blue-Haired Unicorn writes, Therapist. You're a nice person, friends. You're a nice person, family. You're a nice person, me. Yeah, but what if I'm actually shit? That's accurate.
Uh-oh, the imposter syndrome.
Yeah. And then Nudity and Nerdery, fantastic name, writes, me. Oh, fuck, I tricked so many people into thinking I'm nice. That's just how shit I am. And the Fifth Emerald writes, this post is very loud. Good God. All right, number 24. Paka Steka friggin' I don't know says, I might have told this story before, but fear not, I'm going to tell it again. Back when I was studying nursing, me and my schoolmates, who were all women between 30 and 60, were having lunch. Subject turned to pets and hobbies, and one of them mentioned that she's going into some Malamute event, although this being Finland, most of the attendants are probably just going there to get drunk. I made a joke that if they get drunk enough, they'll be able to communicate with the Malamutes in their own language, and she laughed and agreed, and for like a minute we both started making wailing Malamute calls at each other and laughing in tears while the rest of the table looked at us in a confused and mildly concerned silence. Eventually, the bravest one of them broke the silence and asked us, what is a Malamute? She explained that, oh, it's a type of dog. They're big and look very wolf-like, and they don't bark like regular dogs, but howl almost like wolves do, or make whale sounds, just like we had. The whole table seemed almost visibly relieved, and several of them admitted they had never heard of Malamutes before. They hadn't realized we were talking about dogs. They knew the term mamu, a Finnish bit-dated term for any and all immigrants, short of Mahan Mutaja, an immigrant, and concluded that Malamoodle must be a similar acronym. And for a minute, the whole table had just been sitting there with the assumption that we were just openly being insanely racist.
Jesus.
Wow. I'm glad they cleared that up, right? All right, number 25. Egg Cup writes, we should domesticate seals. 2003 Gazette says, you ring someone's doorbell and instead of hearing a dog's bark, you hear a super deep, terrifying seal bark and you hear a loud, wet flopping noise. And then Egg Cup writes, that's the world I want to live in. Bing bong, orf, 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 orf.
I just imagine it being slippery everywhere. I don't know if I like that.
You'd have to have a pool.
There's a YouTuber that I watch that has otters.
Aww.
Yeah, they're very cute. Number 26, Cannibal Chicken posts this meme. There's this pink shark apparently dreaming of Pringles. It says, the saddest part of being a shark is never being able to experience the crispness of a Pringle. I think Barrel must have posted this at some point.
Yeah.
And then Bogleach writes, sometimes they eat sand dollars, smiley face. And Poon Dragon, fantastic name, writes, sharks have 10 to 20 times the bite force of a human. A sand dollar test has roughly 12 times the crushing strength of a Pringle. QED, a shark may indeed experience the crispness of a Pringle. Okay, wow, fantastic. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that vital for...
Yeah.
I didn't think, the crispness of a Pringle was that amazing.
No, I don't even like Pringles. They're not that great. I
like Pringles.
They're kind of low-tier chips, to be honest.
Oh, I like that they come in a tennis ball tin.
Oh, yeah, they do come in a tennis ball tin.
Yes.
There's a Mitch Hedberg joke about that. Like, the tennis balls didn't come. What happened? What did come? Potatoes. Fuck it. Cut them up. All right. All right. Number 27. Prison Hannibal writes, okay, Magneto, are you interested in joining my team of mutants fighting for the end of mutant oppression? Smiley face. Mutant. Sure, what's it called? The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants? Why is it called that? And then Jake Morph writes, like you all wouldn't be hyped as fuck to join a gay rights club called the Brotherhood of Evil Gays. And explain the X-Men says this is an exceptionally valid point. It is too.
Yeah, but the whole evil thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a wuss. I'd be a little turned off.
The two cis het, I would be like, hell yeah, if you told me to join the Brotherhood of Evil
Well,
Gays,
what if it was like the Brotherhood of Evil Blind People? Wouldn't you be like, fuck yeah, let's do some crimes?
But I'm not evil.
Oh, stop it. Like, you don't steal stuff in Skyrim.
I've never played Skyrim.
Oh, god damn it. Well,
too many graphics.
Too many graphics. All right, finally, number 28. Page Turner here writes, shh, let it happen. Okay. Oh, they're replying to this. Dank Meme University says, friend, you can't possibly guess a Wheel of Fortune puzzle with no letters. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, there's this huge puzzle, and the category is 80s song lyrics. And it's absolutely never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
No.
And Zuisu just writes, oh my god. Yeah.
Genius!
Okay, so from 1 to 28, I gotta say, there were a few of those that were whack, but there were many of those that were fantastic. Jokes by Jeff took it over the top. I'm gonna give that a 27. What say you, Jesse?
I was feeling a 24, and it felt very smooth.
EB?
I'd say about 25. I appreciated that, at least one was actually genuinely deep, too.
Yes.
So.
Well, it's funny because the whole, idea of Tumblr Gets Deep was originally, a sarcastic thing. Like, oh, look at these people talking crazy shit, All right.
It's fun to be silly, but when they actually do get deep, it's like, well, that's nice.
Yeah. EB, you have a list for us, don't you?
I do. It's from Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah.
It's called List of Really, Really, Really Stupid Article Ideas That You Really, Really, Really Should Not Create.
So somebody involved in Wikipedia was like, hey, don't make these articles. We're not going to approve them.
It appears to be a locked article, so I think this is much as they're going to do.
Yeah.
I read through it, and it starts out
comprehensive
kind of slow, but it's pretty funny.
All right, let's hear it. How many are there?
There are 95, but they're all really short.
Wow. Well, let's go through it rapidly then. Just do like 10 at a time, and then we'll comment.
Okay. So 1 is you, your family, or the organization you work for. Fair enough. 2, your band, which has only sold 47 copies of its one album, even if you think it will sell 48 or maybe 49. Or if you get really lucky, you could pay off the record store owner so he could may buy one and your sales have gone up to 50. Keep dreaming, brother. Number 3, your imaginary friend or your imaginary friends that don't even exist.
Oh, snap.
4, the religion, language, or even country that you made up with your friends at school one day. 5, the street you live on, unless it's on a Monopoly board. It's highly unlikely that you live on a Monopoly board game. We suggest you don't even try it.
Nah.
6, any one of the 8 distinct regions of the Pokemon video game series, or liking Mudkips, or hearing that someone likes Mudkips, or random ship that includes Ash Ketchum and insert random girl here. Remember, not everyone is a Pokemon fanatic. By the way, there are more than 8 regions. That's just
I'm guessing that was written a while ago.
Well, Gens 1 through 7 would be, what we have, and then, there's History Now, and then even before that, like, Pokemon Coliseum was set in the Ora region and stuff.
No, I get that, but, like, who knows when they wrote that, too.
Yeah. 7, a stunt or trick that only you have ever attempted, possibly unsuccessfully. And this links to the 1080 skateboard trick, and unsuccessfully is the article for Abrasion.
Oh.
8, any movie you made yourself has never been seen by more people at any one time than could fit in your basement, even if you have a really big basement. 9, individual songs that have never been released as a single nor seen radio play, unless they're 20 minutes long or have led to a phone number becoming unusable or have questioned the essence of music itself.
8675309. We do got to go through this one. You got to go quicker though, because it's 95 of them.
The 20-minute song is 2112, by the way.
Of course it is.
They link to. Parentheses, anything in pop culture. Anything at all.
Wow.
11. Likewise, hysterical realism in works of insert neither hysterical nor realistic author here.
Discuss.
12.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Dormitory, university residence, or any suite therein. 13.
I gotta say that each one of these must have been attempted, and that's why they're on this list.
Oh, I like that.
Nothing but pictures of cats off to the side. 13. Stuff nobody but that guy who changes his bonk ears more often than his underpants cares about, or the equivalent there too. For example, a song about a custom map of a video game, unless you are famous, and the song managed to be released as a single. Apparently a Swedish DJ released a song about a Dota custom map.
Well, do you remember when I had an issue with my Zelda 2 playthroughs being copyrighted by some weirdo guy in Sweden, saying that I was covering his song?
Oh yeah.
And it was just like the temple music from Zelda 2, but he was like singing really badly along with it in Swedish about how he wants to go to parties and fuck girls.
I don't think I've seen that, but I remember you telling me about it.
I could show it to you. It's hyper cringe.
Ugh.
I sent the copyright what do you call it, the rebuttal, the appeal, and I used phrases such as some asshole and fraudulent claims and low quality. It was pretty funny.
All accurate.
Yeah. Go ahead, EB.
Okay. Let's see. 14. Anything about which you cannot be buggered to write more than one complete sentence, and then it cuts off.
Haha.
15. Subjects that cannot be studied, or knowledge of which amounts to only the fact that it pertains to another topic, a favorite line from a movie, a catchy lyric, or a potent phrase used in arguments, juicy facts of interest to fans, punchline or zinger. These are all very interesting, but usually all that can informatively be written about topic X is X is a blank found in blank.
Okay.
Just about
What do you
everything
got?
listed on the Wikipedia millionth topic pool. For that matter, writing about the Wikipedia millionth topic pool. I actually went to check that. They have already had their millionth topic.
Oh, makes sense.
But now they're taking nominations for the 10 millionth.
There you go.
Anything about your cat or dog, and how cute it is, or your hamster, or your daegu, or your chinchilla.
Imagine that you'd like, I'm going to write on the Wikipedias about how cute Snickums is. People will want to read about this. Like, just start a blog, Jesus.
Exploding whales, which there is an article about, the phenomenon of whale carcasses exploding. Mm-hmm. Or indeed, exploding whales, as in blowing up Jimmy Donald whales. Or even exploding whales, the country. Blowing up any other animals, for example, exploding mice, or even exploding velociraptor, for that matter. Most things that implode are pretty much off that list, too, with few exceptions. Which is black hole and the 1515 tower.
I thought you said these were very quick. Each one of them seems to be like a full dissertation now.
Yeah.
Some of them are like less than a sentence, or like two words, and some of them are long.
Well, let's try and, you know what? Because we don't want this to be the whole thing. Let's try. Well, what number are you at right now?
I'm at 20.
20. So do 25, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything written under the influence of recreational substances or while tired and emotional, which is how I learned that's the British euphemism for being drunk.
Wow, I didn't know that. It doesn't. Tired and emotional.
Oh, weird.
I'm just tired and if you say to somebody in England you're tired and emotional, they're gonna think you're drunk off your ass.
Yep. I thought it was pissed.
I think that's the more vulgarism for it.
Yes.
You're pissed drunk.
21. An article about another article written after the use of aforementioned substances.
Okay.
22. A fork of an existing article for the sole purpose of adding some humor.
Nah.
23. The weather in London, not even a redirect.
Don't start with that, right?
Yeah. 24. Your guild of World of Warcraft or similar time wasters. Just because you have no life, which is crossed out. A personally fascinating hobby doesn't mean you get to tell the world about it. And don't write about this guy in your guild who wiped your raid either, and that links to Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy
Jenkins!
I'm just going to go to 26 just because 25 and 26 technically go together.
Okay.
25 is something you saw on YouTube and possibly laughed at, and 26 is something that you put yourself on YouTube.
Why would I go on to Wikipedia and just post like all the links to YouTube when I have a YouTube itself?
Like I said, for somebody to have written up a list of don't do this, somebody did each of these things, right?
Yeah, they have like lots of hyperlinks and stuff to show that people have attempted it.
All right, well I'll give that I'm gonna give that a 15.
I don't know. I'm gonna give that like a 22 out of 25 because a lot of those I'm like, yeah, I don't know why somebody would want to write that.
Nah, I know why somebody would write some of those, and that's what scares me.
Well, exploding whales, that'd be kind of cool to read.
Which one?
I mean, the first one, the phenomenon of exploding whale carcasses does exist.
Yeah.
But after that, they were just
what about you, EB?
I give it probably about an 18. I think the funnier ones were later on the list as they were getting, more unhinged and less recommending, actual stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so moving along, we have a list from Smiles here who has given me, this is from, let's see, Discover Magazine. It's 10 Women in Science Who Changed the World.
Oh.
So not exactly the funniest thing, but I like educational content as well. And according to this, I have one free article left, so I'm glad I brought it up now.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever been to this. Okay, so these aren't in any particular order or numbered, but we have Ada Lovelace, who basically was the first computer programmer.
That's pretty important nowadays.
Yeah. We have Marie Curie. I mean, she kind of discovered a bunch of important elements and, radiation and all that. So that's pretty important.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Die from it.
We have Janaki Amal. Now, I don't know who she is. She's apparently India's first female plant scientist who developed several hybrid species still grown today.
Ooh, I like that they're hybriding plants.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
She's
I'm pronouncing the next one.
Chen Xing Wu. You shouldn't be looking at the lists, by the way.
Okay.
You're supposed to react to them when I'm telling you.
That's the only one I brought up. So.
Oh, okay.
No
So
spoilers.
she was the first scientist to confirm and later refine Enrico Fermi's theory of radioactive beta decay. Okay.
So she is the one who said it's totally legit.
Then we have Catherine Johnson, who she's like a really big at NASA. She came up with like orbital mechanics and stuff like that, and helped get us into space.
Whoa! All right, yeah, that's another big deal. Yeah. I guess these are all big deals.
Oh, they're every single one of them. Rosalind Franklin, the chemist. Let's see, what did she do? She discovered DNA, the double helix structure of DNA.
Holy hell!
Yeah. Vera Rubin, an astronomer. Let's see. She actually discovered the existence of dark matter.
Oh, that is awesome! Imagine discovering dark matter.
Yeah. I mean, it just sounds metal as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Gladys West. First person on this list to still be alive, by the way. But she she basically created GPS technology.
Which, like, everybody uses all the time now.
Yep. Flossie Wong Stahl. She is the first scientist to clone HIV and create a map of its genes, which led to the AIDS test.
Good heavens. Yeah. That sounds complicated as hell.
She managed to do it. And then we have Jennifer Doudna, a biochemist. She was one of the primary developers of CRISPR, which is a technology for editing genomes.
So, like, you can edit your child before they're born?
Yeah, it's a way to just basically put an end to birth defects and diseases.
You can shop your child.
Well, no, that's called an abortion.
No, like Photoshop.
Oh, Photoshop. I thought you said stop.
No!
I was like, no. That's why I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Well, I mean, these are all very important, and it was interesting to hear about a few of these that I didn't know. So I'll give it a 10 out of 10. What do you say, EB?
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 just because it left off Barbara McClintock, so I didn't get to tell the great story about her.
Okay. And Jesse?
Go on, tell it.
Well, why don't you rate it first, Jesse?
Oh, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 because they're all very important.
Oh, and to answer Moogle, Florence Nightingale was more of a nurse. These are scientists.
Yeah.
But what is the thing you wanted to...
Barbara McClintock was a biologist, and she actually came from Maine. But while she was studying at Wellesley, she came back during the summer and was working at the University of Maine in Orono, and they were working with rats, and they were, like, examining their pheromones and stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, it's like how women, when they're all in their periods, and they live together, their cycles sync up. And all the guys in the lab, because she was the only woman there, were like, that doesn't happen.
Well, it doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't happen to them.
Like, yeah, it definitely happens. I live in Wellesley. It's happened to all of us. So they're like, well, if you're saying this, then that means that humans have pheromones. And she's like, that's pretty much what I'm saying. So they told her to prove it. So she went back to Wellesley and started handing out questionnaires for all the women that lived there to fill out regarding their cycles and stuff and how often they lived there and everything else. It came back to Orono the next year. It presented her paper where she basically said, here's your proof that humans have pheromones, that all of our cycles are syncing up because we're living together. And also, at the time, when she was at Wellesley, one of the students was Hillary Rodham Clinton, so it's believed that she participated in the survey as well.
There you go.
Well, that's cool, discovering that people have hormones.
Well, the new hormones.
Wait, we definitely have hormones. Hey,
Pheromone.
Jesse, do you know how to make a hormone?
I don't want to answer that, but I do like the pun.
Yeah, you just tip her. That's all. Okay. All right. So this one's submitted by Alice. This is from space.com, another sort of educational list. These 10 super extreme exoplanets are out of this world. So just 10 interesting ass exoplanets. You guys know what an exoplanet is, right?
I do, like, vaguely. I know it's
just planet that's not
outside the solar system.
Not in our solar system, yeah.
Like, it's so far out there, it's not part of our...
Yeah, it's not attached to our sun, attached to some other sun. Okay, so we have WASP 76b, where it rains molten iron.
Dude, that's metal as fuck.
Doesn't sound like a pleasant place to go for a jaunty little walk there, right?
No.
That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Through a telescope from a distance. Yeah, right. HD 1897333b, where they have showers of molten glass.
Oh my god.
That's also...
Who's going to live on these planets?
No one.
The Republicans.
Yeah. I know there's one that rains diamonds. I can't remember which one.
Then we have Gliese 1132b, which is a planet that grew a second atmosphere.
How'd it go and do that?
Just because. Well, you know what? There's a lot of technicalities here that I'm not going to read because I want to get through more than 5 lists here, but it did do it. Apparently, something happened where the atmosphere was just blown off of it, and it just created a second one.
It's like, fuck you, I'm going to build one right
here.
here.
Yeah, there you go.
Blackjack hookers.
Yeah. Kepler 10b. Let's see. It doesn't... Oh, it's a lava planet. It's basically like Mustafar from Star Wars.
Oh, awesome. A reference I get.
Upsilon Andromeda B is a world of fire and ice.
Oh, I played that on the NES. It's pretty fun.
That's ice and fire.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. So basically, dayside temperatures can go up to 2,912 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,600 Celsius, whereas at night it becomes more like 4 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius.
Well, 20 degrees Celsius is pretty nice.
Well, no, that's cold as... Oh, minus 20 is what I said.
Oh, well, it's
but
a
they said
cold.
crossing the hemisphere is like jumping into a volcano.
Jesse flexing his Canadian.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah. You're American now. You can't be.
This is America.
Yeah. No, you're now an American. You're an official American, right? All right.
If you don't like it, you can get it.
Yeah. I remember when you told me you were trying to get your American citizenship. Do you remember what I said?
No.
It was why.
I was gonna say, was it why?
Yeah.
My only response is love, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. All right, HR 5183b, called the Whiplash planet, because it has such a bizarre fucking orbit that it basically like whips around its star. Like a.
They got to put these planets in video games, man.
I guess they could update No Man's Sky with this shit, right?
I feel like some of them are like Metroid Prime planets.
There you go. Ogle 2016 BLG 1928. They really ran out of the good names, huh? So this one's actually on its way to leaving the galaxy.
Bye.
Like it's just floating outwards and it's going to be leaving us.
I guess no one will be able to ogle it anymore.
Yeah. Then we have the TOI 178 system, a system of harmony and chaos. I wish that it would more concisely tell me what's so interesting about it, but oh wow. So they say next to a dense terrestrial Earth-like world is a puffed-out, low-density planet, followed by an exoplanet with a density similar to that of Neptune. So basically, it's a whole system of weirdo planets that all hang out with each other, like like that show Freaks and Geeks,
Oh, a bunch of crazy madcap misfits.
Yeah, exactly.
Managed to get along.
Exactly. Then we have 55 Cancri E, the universe's most valuable exoplanet, and I'm trying to find out why.
Not the diamond one.
let's see. Wow, it's made of pure diamond.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't just rain diamonds, it's made of diamond.
I call it. I claim it.
Yeah, right. And then we have planets, which are the planets that circulate black holes.
That sounds dangerous as hell.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know. You see that movie Interstellar?
Not yet.
You should absolutely watch that movie. It's fucking awesome. All right, out of 10, interesting. Could have been a little better worded for some of these, so I didn't have to like read too much into it. I'm gonna give it a 7. What do you guys say?
I really liked it. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
I'd say 7 sounds about fair.
Okay. All right, so Smiles gave me another one. This is from imdb.com. It is the 25 greatest legal movies according to the American Bar Association. So they've
Like
told
for
you.
legal accuracy, maybe?
I think they're just going by with their favorites.
Yeah.
You know, what one movie do you think has to be on here?
My Cousin Vinny?
That was the first thing I thought of. My Cousin Vinny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kramer versus Kramer came to mind for me.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, number 25 is Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a nutty
Which
one.
version?
The
I guess
original, the original one. Number 24 is Amistad. That's a great movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah. Number 23 is Young Mr. Lincoln. I'm not familiar with this. It's from 1939. It's got Henry Fonda. It's a lawyer movie. So, yeah.
Well, the kid was a lawyer.
Yeah. Number 22, A Civil Action. That's from 1998. Who is that? I mean, it's got Travolta in it. I don't know what it's about. Number 21 is In the Name of the Father from 1993. This was with Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm not really familiar with it.
Probably good then.
Yeah. Number 20 is And Justice for All from 1979. That's with Al Pacino.
I think I was gonna see it, but then I don't know, Spider-Man was on or something.
Okay. Number 19 is Compulsion from 1959. So I'm not familiar with that one, I'll be honest.
Got to see a lot more legal movies.
Yeah. Number 18 is Reversal of Fortune from 1990. So,
nope.
So this was about some guy who was, basically murdered, but he was still alive, like he was brain dead. And the legal, they were trying to try the person for murder, but he was like still technically alive.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Number 17 is The Paper Chase from 1973. It's just a movie about being a lawyer, basically. Number 16, EB, you mentioned this, Kramer versus Kramer from 1979. Yay, right?
Did it win Best Picture?
I think it did, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, I know Meryl Streep won an Oscar. I don't know if the movie itself did. Number 15 is Chicago from 2002, which, it's a musical. I don't know.
Pretty good musical. I liked it. I thought it was better than the stage show, too.
Really?
I've only seen the movie version, and I thought it was pretty good. It was all right.
Yeah.
The only questionable thing I had in there was I didn't think Richard Gere was all that suited to the role, but everybody else was really good.
Okay. Number 14 is A Few Good Men from 1992. You're out of order. This whole system's out of order, and all that shit.
That was pretty good. It got really heated.
Yeah, good movie. Number 13 is A Man for All Seasons from 1966.
A Burns for All Seasons.
A man burns for all seasons. It was all about King Henry VIII going up against the church to have the right to divorce and remarry.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12 is Judgment at Nuremberg. I don't think anybody needs to know what that is, right?
Huh?
What? Number 11 is Presumed Innocent from 1990. I don't know that one, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Yeah. Number 10 is The Verdict from 1982.
The Verdict.
The Verdict. Imagine if it was a movie that was 3 seconds long. Guilty. And then the credits roll.
Well, it's in the title.
Yeah. Number 9 is Erin Brockovich. I kind of figured that'd be on
was
here
that
somewhere.
about the bad water in a city or something?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, and she was the lawyer that put together the class action lawsuit.
Yeah, with a shit ton of people.
Yeah. Number 8 is Philadelphia. I didn't really think of that as a legal movie, but it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
It is. I mean, the lawsuit is pretty much the crux of the whole thing.
Yeah,
it's good. Watch it.
Yeah. Number 7 is Breaker Morant from 1980. The poster looks like it's from 1880, but yeah. Oh boy. Number 6 is Witness for the Prosecution from 1957.
No, they're just saying lines
Yeah,
from
now-
inside the courtroom.
Yeah, they're just. What's next? Shall we take a brief recess? That's the next movie right now. No.
Use the lavatory.
Yeah. Number 5 is Inherit the Wind from 1960, which is a true story about a case for and against Tennessee science teacher accused of the crime of teaching evolution.
Oh, ooh,
Legasp.
wow.
Yeah, Legasp. Number 4 is Anatomy of a Murder from 1959. That's about a soldier who claims he killed an innkeeper due to a temporary insanity.
Oh, wow. Back then.
Yeah. Number 3 is My Cousin Vinny.
Yes. You got in.
Fantastic movie. One of the best legal movies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is 12 Angry Men. That's also
that
a
one, too.
really good movie.
Duh.
Really good movie.
That was an obvious one.
And their number 1 pick is To Kill a Mockingbird. It's
Yeah.
Obvious one. I think this top 25 could have been a top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just me. I'm gonna give it a 10. That's what I think it should have been.
I'll give it maybe a 15 because there were a few earlier ones that were pretty interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Some of them I didn't really know. Well, a lot of them I didn't really know.
Yeah, I didn't know a bunch of those, and I know movies, but some of them are like, huh?
I think I'm going to give it like a 12 because maybe I should see some of these.
Maybe you should. Maybe we all should. I just feel like it didn't need to be 25. It didn't feel like they were all essential.
Murder case you brought up reminded me of an interesting one in Britain where a woman attacked a man with acid, and the man did survive, and he was originally from the Netherlands. This happened in the UK, and so he got his father. Parents brought him back to the Netherlands to recover, and he wasn't recovering. In fact, he was getting worse. In the Netherlands, they actually allow euthanasia, so he campaigned and was euthanized, and that led to, in the UK, was it murder if he was euthanized?
Oh, damn.
Which they ended up ruling that it was.
Yeah.
That he died as a result of her actions.
It makes sense, in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few lists here from Dr. Barrel submitted these. They were created by somebody named Green Scorpion, who basically top 10 blank users in video games, like different types of weapons, right? And Barrel lets me know that these lists were created in 2012, but the honorable mentions were added in 2014. So
wait, blank users?
You're not paying attention. There's a bunch of these lists, and they're like top 10 sword users, top 10 bow users, like that.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So his first one here is top 10 scythe users in video games. Honorable mention for Pistol from Skies of Arcadia Legends. Number 10 being Manny Calavera from Grim Fandango. Number 9 being Gornis from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Barely remember that character, but okay.
Same here.
Number 8 being Magus from Chrono Trigger. Number 7 being Sigma from the Mega Man X series. I am trying to think of when Sigma ever used a scythe.
I think it's one of his first forms in like X2 or X3. He's dressed up like Death.
It might have been X3. I don't remember. I remember he used a lightsaber. I don't remember a scythe.
No, I remember it was like a lightsaber scythe.
Oh, okay, yeah. Number 6 is Scyther from Pokemon. That should be number 1. It's right in his name, right? Number 5 is Fiddlesticks from League of Legends. Number 4 is Marluxia
Marluxia.
Maybe I was going to say maybe it's Marluxia from Kingdom Hearts. Number 3 is Margaret Moonlight from No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle. Number 2 is Zalasimal from Soul Calibur 3. And number 1 is Death from Castlevania.
Doi.
You know what? I gotta give that a 10 just based on the fact that I can't like sit here and think of a Scythe user that should be on there, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to replace one with another, and I'm not coming up with any.
Like
others.
I could bang the drum of Yangus from Dragon Quest VIII, but that most people have him use axes or clubs. So
I'm giving it a 7 just because there's no way that Marluxia should be above Magus.
okay, fair enough.
Oh, you don't like the order? Oh.
Yeah, that's fair
I
enough.
like the order. I love Kingdom Hearts. It's just that I love Chrono Trigger more. So.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger does sort of
Chrono Trigger is more iconic.
supersede Kingdom Hearts. Not to mention League of Legends and
yes,
that's true.
Magus should not have been that far down.
Okay. All right. Also from Green Scorpion, the top 10 sword wielders in video games. The honorable mention being Raiden from Metal Gear Solid. So number 10 is Frog from Chrono Trigger. Number 9, Link from The Legend of Zelda.
9?
Yeah, wow, there's a lot of sword users out there. Number 8 is Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. Number 7 is Meta Knight from Kirby. Number 6 is Auron from Final Fantasy X. Number 5 is Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, and I guess Dead or Alive as well. Number 4 is Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Number 3 is Yoshimitsu from Soul Calibur. He's actually from Tekken, but I digress. Number 2 is Lindis from Fire Emblem, and number 1 is the Kusagari from Red Steel 2. This list sucks.
It does.
Yes, it does.
This list
What
sucks.
Does this guy have against Chrono Trigger too? It's like I'll put the classics way at the bottom, and then we'll start putting
Red Steel 2, really?
Stuff.
Yeah, who played Red Steel 2?
It's like there's no way Link is less iconic than Travis Touchdown. I mean, No More Heroes isn't exactly obscure, but it's not, Legend.
It's not Zelda, no.
I mean, Meta Knight is cool and all, but Link, he wields all kinds of badass swords.
Also, could I mention, if you're going to pick one character from the entirety of Final Fantasy, you pick Auron?
I know.
Right?
Like, even Sephiroth would have been a better pick.
A way better pick. I mean, like, I mean, if you want like the most iconic sword guy from Final Fantasy, it's probably Cloud, right?
Yeah.
Buster Sword, man.
Big ass Buster Sword.
I'm gonna give that a 2 because that's how many that I think belong on that list.
Yeah, I give it a 2. Possibly.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2, as long as I don't deduct points because of how mad I am about the order too.
There you go.
I'll give it 2 where the sun don't shine.
Oh, damn. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, race. All right. Also, top 10 spear wielders in video games. And just based on the fact, I was going to say it. It's just based on the fact that they use spears. At least one of these has to be a lesbian, right?
Yes.
Well, the honorable mention is Judith from Tales of Vesperia. So let's see. We have number 10 is Orca from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Number 9 is Eric Lecard from Castlevania Bloodlines. Number 8 is Sir Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins. That's not a spear, that's a lance. Number 7 is Waddle Dee from Kirby's Return to Dreamland. He did have a little spear. Number 6 is Nephany from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Number 5 is Lu Bu from Dynasty Warriors. Number 4 is Shin Zhao from League of Legends. Number 3 is Kane Highwind from Final Fantasy IV. Number 2 is Sung Mina from Soul Calibur. That's not a spear, that's a naginata. And number 1 is Zaldin from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, so clearly this dude really likes Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, clearly.
And League of Legends.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Zaldin is because there's too many X characters.
Which exact one Zaldin was, because I could not think of him off the top of my head.
Should have put Fang from Final Fantasy so that there would be at least one actual spear lesbian on the list.
Oh yeah, that's.
What is it about spears and lesbians?
It's just a joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Hi, Gibbsy Noodle.
Zaldin has hella spears.
A few of those weren't even really spears. Like Sung Mina uses a naginata, which is a polearm weapon, but it's got like a knife at the end. It's meant for slashing, not jabbing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I give it a 2 for how many characters I think should be on there.
I'll give it a 3 for 2 characters I think should be on there and making me giggle at Waddle Dee.
I was going to give it a 3, but no Mog. I'm giving it a 2.
No Mog. There you go. Mog did have a spear.
Yeah.
Also, possible deductions for not being able to tell pole arms apart.
There you go. Next one is top 10 bow users in video games. The honorable mention here is the Dragonborn from the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, because let's face it, everybody eventually becomes a stealth archer. All right, so number 10 is Joseph Turok from the Turok series. Since when is his name Joseph Turok?
I was just thinking that.
Maybe that's that Xbox game where he's like a Marine or something. His name is Turok. It means the son of stone, not Joe Turok. Number 9 is Bowyer from Super Mario RPG. He doesn't use a bow. He is a bow.
But it's like he's using himself. That was the first guy that came to my mind.
Oh my god. Number 8 is Link from The Legend of Zelda. Number 7 is Maple Bowman from Maple Story. Just deduct 3 points for mentioning Maple Story. Number 6 is Pit from Kid Icarus. Number 5 is Raven from Tales of Vesperia. Number 4 is Ash from League of Legends. Number 3 is Ilaria Windrunner from Warcraft 2. Number 2 is Kai from Heavenly Sword. And number 1 is Shinon from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. This was pretty shit.
Yeah,
I don't think I've thought of Heavenly Sword since the PS3 first came out.
I don't think anybody has thought of Heavenly Sword since that.
Yeah.
How about Rosa?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bow.
Yeah. I don't know. Whack. I'm gonna give that's a Joseph Turok out of 10. That's pretty bad. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm giving it a 4. I kind of like some of the picks they picked.
What do you say, EB?
Joseph Turok.
Yeah, it's pretty. I've never heard that before.
His friends call him Joey T.
I know that after the first game, like
Christian name.
It wasn't. I know after the first game, it wasn't like the same guy. It was a different person, but there was Talset. I know that, but I never remember a guy named Joey Turok. Okay, Alice sent in the 13 worst Supreme Court decisions of all time. This has got to be good. This is going to be
interesting.
Might get heavy.
All right, let's see. All right, number 1 is Dred Scott versus Sanford. Hands down the worst Supreme Court decision ever made. So this is where they said that African Americans, whether free men or slaves, could not be considered American citizens.
It's a little out of date.
Well, it was 1857, so I would say extremely out of date, and you might recognize that date as being right before the Civil War.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. Number 2 is Buck versus Bell, where we decided that eugenics was a good idea.
Oh, God. And then Star Trek 2.
Yeah. They upheld the forced sterilization of those with intellectual disabilities for the protection and health of the state.
Yeah.
They institutionalized blind people because they didn't want them associating with normal people.
Normal. Number 3 is Korematsu versus the United States. Now, from the name Korematsu and the fact that this is 1944, you might come up with what that is. It did lead to the internment of many Japanese Americans.
Yeah, a little dirty time in history.
Very extremely. One of many. Number 4 is Plessy versus Ferguson, which is their whole separate but equal malarkey, the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
Number 5 is the civil rights cases of 1883. And as you can imagine, they weren't big on civil rights in 1883.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have a word for it yet.
Yeah, right. Okay. Number 6 is Bowers versus Hardwick. In 1986, this upheld the discriminatory Georgia sodomy statute that criminalized sexually active gay and lesbian relationships.
Oh, God. That recent?
I mean, yeah, that recent. A lot of the bad stuff that happened to the queer community is all in living memory. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7, Lochner versus New York in 1905. This one's not a civil rights case, but in this one, the Supreme Court struck down a New York law limiting bakery work hours to 10 hours a day, finding an implicit liberty of contract in the Due Process Clause and giving birth to the Lochner era. So basically, you know, they were like, yes, your boss can't work you to death because fuck you. Yeah, because fuck you.
Because fuck you, yep.
Yeah. Number 8, Hammer versus Daggenheart in 1918. The court ruled that Congress could not ban child labor in intrastate commerce. And that's still an issue today.
Yeah.
Still an issue today. Everywhere. Yeah.
Like migrant workers and stuff, too.
Yeah. Number 9 is Kilo versus the City of New London in 2005, which is where the Supreme Court did something really fucked up and decided to take land from one private party to give it to another.
Because?
Because they thought that the other person needed it more, I guess. They said they had a comprehensive redevelopment plan, whatever the hell that means.
Just garbage words.
Yeah. Number 10, Lucas versus the South Carolina Coastal Commission. This was in 1992. So let's see. A developer purchased some vacant lots in South Carolina beaches. The state wanted to seek to prevent beach erosion. They passed a management act which prevented him from building homes on the land. And that, according to the Supreme Court, was a total destruction of all economically viable use and a per se taking. Not only are the case's factual conclusions implausible, but as UCLA law professor Jonathan Zasloff notes, the opinion is full of expressly and needlessly anti-environmental views. Here's a fun one from 2000, Bush versus Gore. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So we got, George W. there as president because of this one, so even though he totally lost the election.
How things could have been different.
Yeah. Number 12 is Exxon Shipping Company versus Baker in 2008. Very recent. Want to send a message to corporate wrongdoers? Don't expect the Roberts Court to make it easy. Following the Exxon Valdez oil spill, one of the greatest environmental disasters of the time, and after years and years of litigation, Exxon was finally held responsible for its negligent captain and hit with a $5 billion damages. Then the Supreme Court ruled that Exxon couldn't be subject to punitive damages and excessive compensatory ones, dropping the total damages down to $500 million.
That's it?
Yeah. Think of the difference between $500 million and $5 billion.
That's a lot.
It's the difference between throwing a bullet and shooting a bullet, you know? And finally, number 13, Citizens United versus the FEC in 2010. Perhaps the most hated decision from the Roberts Court. Citizens United held that political donations are speech protected by the First Amendment.
I don't know. That sounds real dirty to me.
That pretty much says, yeah, we're not a democracy.
That's you can buy your way to the top.
Yeah, pretty much. We're an oligarchy then. All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's any Supreme Court one's decisions worse than this that belong on this. I would say this is probably the 13 worst Supreme Court decisions of all time. I'll give it a 13. What do you guys say?
I'll give it a lucky 13.
I give it. I'm depressed now out of 13.
Which is a 13. I mean, let's be real,
so good
right?
list. It's just I'm depressed now.
I know. All right. Well, maybe this will cheer you up. This is Eighth gave us this one from Gizmodo, the top 10 greatest giant robots of all time.
Oh, dude.
And speaking of
giant.
Yeah, speaking of Eighth, they just wrote in the chat 13 out of 13 with room for the list to grow given the court's current state.
Oh God, just look at what Texas just did.
Yeah.
Topical.
Very topical. All right, so number 10 is Gypsy, Danger, and the Jaegers from Pacific Rim. I watched Pacific Rim with June, and my takeaway was it might have been the dumbest movie I've ever seen, and I loved every fucking second of it.
Yeah, Pacific Rim job was pretty exciting.
I remember...
Pacific Rim job?
Oh, wow.
Wait, are we talking about the same movie?
Pacific Rim?
Yes.
You said Pacific Rim job.
I did.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't
He
know
knows what he did.
Yeah, you know what you did. I tell you what, though, like, I remember at the beginning, I was saying, you know, they had all the asshole politicians, you know, and then, like, well, one of these assholes is going to say, let's build a wall around the kaiju. 10 minutes later, I'm like, wait a minute, I was only joking. They're actually going to do it? I was just thinking of the dumbest thing that I can think of, you know? Like, come on. All right, number 9 is the Veritech Fighters from Robotech. That's going old school Robotech.
Yeah.
That was one of the anime I actually watched while it was airing, and
I think
it was pretty good.
Everybody who was alive during the 80s saw Robotech.
Saw, like, a
yeah.
few, like, reruns later, because I was more of a 90s kid.
Number 9 is the Megazord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's more my nostalgia.
I had to tell you, though, honestly, it just looks so cheap, though. It's like...
It does.
That
But
you gotta...
It still looks kind of cool,
It's
though.
like a cool design, but they only had... Their budget was like $5 and half a can of soda, you know?
They tried to do live-action Voltron.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well.
Which that was actually from the Sentai footage. That wasn't even the really cheap
true.
American footage.
Number 7 is the Imperator-class Titan from Warhammer 40,000. Up to 5 million geese. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it does. I'm going to Google it to see what it looks like.
Warhammer 40K has some pretty awesome and ridiculous
Good
stuff.
God, that's not a robot. That's a city on legs.
Oh, it's
It looks like it's a walking castle with machine guns. That's pretty fucking dope. Okay, number 6 is Voltron.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Defender of the Universe.
Yep.
Which Voltron, the original or the remake?
This says 1984, so I think that's pretty original, right?
Indeed.
I think both are pretty cool.
Number 5 are the Evangelion units, which I've not seen Evangelion. I know there's a lot of people in the community who are way into it, but I know what they look like. They do be looking cool.
Yeah.
Get in the fucking
They are
robot.
pretty baller.
Number 4 is Mechagodzilla. I mean, yeah.
That's just a cool design. Godzilla already looks awesome.
Yeah.
I knew that there was going to be a kaiju reference other than Pacific Rim, so...
Yeah, Pacific Rim job.
I don't even particularly like kaiju movies, and I knew that was going to come up.
Number 3 is the Iron Giant. Duh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Duh.
Hooray!
Superman.
I gotta put that on the list on Cartoon Club, actually.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Number 2 is the Gundam RX-782 from Gundam. I have never seen Gundam. I played a fighting game based on Gundam once.
I've seen 2 Gundam series, and neither one was the original, so...
And number 1 is Optimus Prime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yep. Giant robot out of 10, definitely. That's a 10 out of 10.
Indeed.
I'll give it a 8 out of 10 just because I didn't know a bunch of them.
Okay. That's your problem, though.
That is my problem.
Damn.
Educate yourself. Look at the pictures.
That's my 8 out of 10, and you can't take it away from me.
Okay.
Okay. It's your choice.
Eighth sent me a picture of one of the robots. The Gundam. It looks like a Transformer to me.
Gundam.
Gundam, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so Manic Scarecrow. Do you remember Manic Scarecrow? You might remember Manic Scarecrow, Jesse, under a different name, Almighty Santa.
I remember both, actually.
Yeah, okay. So Manic listed the Disney movies from worst to best.
Oh, I just spent 3 days at Disney World, so I'm all Disneyed up.
You're all Disneyed up. Okay, so I'm just going to run through it all really quick because there's a bunch of them and they're not exactly numbered or anything. But this is all the Disney movies that Manic has seen, at least from the worst one to the best one. So starting with Chicken Little, Home on the Range, Dinosaurs, Pocahontas, Dumbo, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Oliver and Company, Winnie the Pooh, the new reboot one, Brother Bear, Meet the Robinsons, Robin Hood, Tangled, Bolt, The Princess and the Frog, Melody Time, The Aristocats, not to be confused with that other movie, The Sword and the Stone, Hercules, The Rescuers, The Jungle Book, Fun and Fancy Free, Make Mine Music, The Great Mouse Detective, Treasure Planet, Moana, Wreck-It Ralph, Fox and the Hound, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, Saludos Amigos, Lady and the Tramp, The Black Cauldron, Cinderella, Peter Pan, 101 Dalmatians, Tarzan, Frozen 2, Big Hero 6, The Emperor's New Groove, Zootopia, Fantasia 2000, Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, Raya and the Last Dragon. Now we're closing in on like the top here. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Little Mermaid, Frozen, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Rescuers Down Under, Lilo and Stitch, Encanto, Atlantis the Lost Empire, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Alice in Wonderland, Fantasia, Sleeping Beauty, and here's 3, 2, 1, number 3 being Aladdin, number 2 being Bambi, and number 1 being Pinocchio.
Oh, interesting.
So
top 3.
I have to say that on no planet would I consider Pinocchio the best Disney movie.
Consider the whole list pretty whack.
Maybe it's that song "When You Wish Upon a Star." That's kind of the big...
I mean, I generally agree with the list in a very vague sense, but there's some weird, like, I don't know about Chicken Little being the worst one. I've never seen it. I couldn't give a shit.
Oh, that movie is god awful. I agree.
You know, I mean, but
I like that Black Cauldron wasn't at the bottom because
it was like Cauldron. Right. Black Cauldron was pretty much right in the middle.
Cauldron is one that people tend to either really love or really hate, so it's interesting you put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't.
Wait, there was no Toy Story on there, was there?
That's Pixar.
It's only rated the ones he's seen.
Yeah.
Disney, Pixar. Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, these are the ones that he's seen too.
He put the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh way down low, and that movie is like sacred in my family. So
the other Winnie the Pooh is really low too.
My dad's.
I don't know. I
kind of agree with that though, because in my mind, I've seen those movies. Stuff happens and then it ends, but that's me.
I mean,
that's kind of the point.
Is Robin Hood really like a bottom tier like that?
No.
You know, is Tangled really bottom tier? I don't think so. No. You know, and I just don't get the top. Like the top. I mean, to me, it would be the Lion King at the top.
Also, there's no way that the second Wreck-It Ralph was better than the first one.
You know what? I haven't seen either of them. I've heard that the second one was better, but I don't know.
I heard the second one was not better than the first one.
No,
it was good.
I'm just basing it on what like people have told me. I don't necessarily go by that. Is Alice in Wonderland really top tier?
No. Only if you're high.
I think it's mid tier.
It's got some beautiful animation in it. If you
really absolutely,
that kind of
absolutely, I'll agree with you on that. But I don't know. It's not numbered, so we got to give it a letter grade. I'm gonna say, and like I said, I could nitpick the hell out of this, right? But I'm gonna give it a B- because I generally agree with the structure of it. I just. Like, I don't know, like Big Hero 6 should have been higher and Fantasia should have been lower. There's just like these weird caveats like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with you. I was going to say B- as well. It's good. It could be improved, but it's good.
I'm giving it a D. That shit was whack.
Yeah. Damn.
With a big red marker.
Only reason why it's not an F is because there are a few I agreed with.
By the way, and Manic has said that he will do a separate list for Pixar.
Ah.
Okay. All right, and also from Manic is his top 20 favorite horror movies.
Oh, man.
That's more my wheelhouse.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen a horror movie or two.
Yeah. So number 20 is the original Child's Play. Wow, is that really top 20 material?
Got some good scares in it.
I mean, I'll go by favorite here, so it's like his, like opinion more than anything. But
Child's Play was pretty good for like kind of pioneering the comedy slasher genre.
That is true. Yeah, it was pretty dopey in a good way, right?
Yeah, it did have some genuine tension to it, but at the same time, it wasn't taking itself seriously.
Number 19 is Hellraiser 2, also known as the last good Hellraiser movie.
Yep. I've unfortunately seen all the Hellraisers, and oof, it gets bad.
Wait, even the one that didn't come from the mind of Clive Barker, not even his butthole?
Yep. Even though, even like they filmed, I think like 3 in a row, and
Oh
they
God.
just pieced them out, and yeah, it
They
was.
ash canned him. Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
3 that weren't even originally Hellraiser
Yeah.
movies. They just went and shoved Pinhead in them later.
Yep.
Number 18 is Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2. It was good.
Yeah.
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 No, it's
Return. Yeah.
good. Number 17 is The Hills Have Eyes. That's a good one.
The
Really?
70s one or the
The
2000s?
70s one he wrote. Yeah.
The
Yeah, that was
OG.
good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Number 16 is Candyman. He doesn't specify which one. I got to assume he means the original on that.
Yeah, well, the new one is technically actually a sequel to
Yeah,
that one, so I'm
yeah.
going to assume it's the original.
Yeah, but it's just confusing that they decided to call it Candyman.
Both really good.
You know.
Well, it's
I've
because
only
it did the new Candyman did the Halloween thing and completely
Yeah.
disregarded the actual sequels.
You know, and that always bugged me though, is that they decided to call that movie Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, come on, why confuse us?
just
like
confuse us some more, why don't you?
that? Manic just confirmed he hasn't seen the new Candyman. So, number 15 is Dead Alive. I mean, yeah, if you want to throw up, I guess it's a fantastic movie, right? Like,
Oh, I think it's a lot of fun.
it's fun, yeah, but wow, it's just
I love me some gore though.
it's just
fun.
this is
Oh.
crazy.
I know for a long time it had the record for like the goriest.
I think
horror movie.
it still holds that record. I don't think
Yeah.
anything's going to top that anytime soon. Number 14 is Frankenstein, the 1931 version. It's a good movie. I think the Bride of Frankenstein was better, but
I haven't seen Bride of Frankenstein, but I have seen the original Frankenstein.
it's,
and
Yeah.
it's a better movie.
It's a good one.
Number 13 is The Horror of Dracula. I believe that's the first of the Hammer films. Yeah.
Hammer?
Also known as the only one that Christopher Lee put effort into.
Yeah, but he went all in. I like his Dracula.
He didn't
I
really.
didn't
No, he
see that
didn't
one.
really go in all in. He hated playing Dracula. He hated everything about it, and he barely said any words in the movie because he thought the lines were so bad. He would just refuse to say them, and so that's why he was always snarling and shit.
I don't know. I was kind of on board with the whole the Hammer horror
Yeah.
thing.
Oh no, they're fantastic. I like them. Number 10 is The Evil Dead, the original. Oh, I skipped one, didn't I? I skipped a few of them. Hold on. Number 12 is Night of the Living Dead. That's one of my favorites. Great movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
I remember when you did the top zombie movie list or whatever. You
was
started it
10
with
Days of the Dead.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It scared the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
I love how everybody thought that I would do a screamer for the next year, and then I did that like quiet, creepy thing instead, and it was even worse for people.
That's because you're waiting for it.
Yeah. Number 11 is Scars of Dracula. It's another Hammer film. I don't particularly remember that one, but you know, all the Hammer ones kind of blend together. You just pick one and watch.
I know
haven't
I've seen
a lot
it,
of
but I
Hammer.
don't remember it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of Hammer horror, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Number 10 is The Evil Dead, the original one. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really like this movie. I don't really like...
It's okay.
It had great practical effects. But
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think it aged very well.
It's
in terms
just-
of the actual content.
It's just lame. I don't know, like something about the Evil Dead movies is just like, oh God, shut up. You know,
the
like,
remake Evil Dead, which actually still used practical effects, was
Yeah.
really good. A really good update for it.
number 9 is Day of the Dead, which is an interesting one because he did not include Dawn of the Dead, but Day of the Dead is
I don't know if I put that above Night.
no. When I just realized that Manic, you have Night of the Living Dead on here twice, and you're not specifying if one of them is a remake or something. You have Night of the Living Dead at number 12 and number 6, so I'm gonna assume one of those is supposed to be Dawn of the Dead.
That's just how much he liked it, though.
Yeah, it's so nice he put it on there twice, right? And then number 9 being Day of the Dead's good. It's really good, but I wouldn't put it above Night of the Living Dead, you know?
Yeah.
All the Romero zombie movies are good. They're just different degrees of good. Number 8 is Friday the 13th. I mean, yeah, it's really super dumb.
It's
the first one.
They're all
didn't
really dumb, but the first
it didn't
one
hold
is
up super well. It was like
Yeah.
pretty much a generic slasher because
Yeah.
even Jason wasn't even in it.
Yeah, I mean
Technically, he was, like,
yeah,
forget at the end.
the big twist, the big twist is the killer's the old lady, and it's
It's
best.
kind of like how
Voorhees.
Sleepaway Camp. If it wasn't for the ending, nobody would remember it.
Exactly.
That's an awesome ending, though.
Number 7 is my favorite horror movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, great movie.
I mean, you will. I love the moment. My favorite moment is I convinced June to show it for Halloween stream night, right? And I was the only one there who had seen it. So June and everybody else thought they were going to get this like goofy slasher movie where, some fucking schmuck with a chainsaw chases a bunch of teenagers around and like their tits are out and it's all fun, right? And then we get to the end, there's that final shot of Leatherface dancing with the sunset and everybody in the chat was just silent for a few minutes. They were completely horrified. They had no idea that they were going to get into something quite so heavy. And I just wrote in the chat, have a great weekend, everyone.
It's not even. It actually.
Good night, everybody.
It accomplishes all that with like very little gore too.
There's almost no blood on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost not at all. So number 6 is Night of the Living Dead. I gotta assume. Okay, so according to Manic, this is actually supposed to be Return of the Living Dead.
Oh.
Which is ridiculous, and I love it for its ridiculousness. Return of the Living Dead is actually a really important horror movie because it gave us brains.
Yes.
Number 5 is Dracula, the 1931 film. I mean, we just watched that again recently. It's a fantastic movie. Number 4 is Halloween.
But it doesn't have music.
Okay. Halloween, the original Halloween. Yeah. I mean, personally, I think as far as slashers go, Texas Chainsaw is better than Halloween, but Halloween's really great too.
Oh,
what you like, it's good.
Yeah. Number 3 is Hellraiser. Hellraiser's good. Number 2 is Dawn of the Dead. I didn't notice that it was there. It is there. I would agree that Dawn of the Dead is the best of the Romero zombie movies. It's
I'm with you there.
That good. And number 1 is Alien, which absolutely love Alien.
It's my favorite franchise. So.
What I would
now I know.
You know what I would do? I would knock off of here. I would just knock Evil Dead right off the list and just put The Thing in its place.
Oh, of course.
But other than that, pretty solid list. It's not like anything in here was like really all that terrible. I mean, there's a few of these that are absolutely bad movies, but we love them anyway because horror movies don't have to be good; they just have to be fun. It's a bonus when they're good, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to put Barrel on blast here, but we bring up Alien. I have to bring up he saw it for the first time when I showed it to him.
Yeah.
And so we get to the scene where, they get into where all the eggs are and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's like, wow, it's like something by H.R. Geiger. And I'm like, that's because it literally is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Out of 20, I say 18.
18, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good score to me.
Now,
I'm going to go 19. I like a lot of those.
Okay.
I'm going to say 19 just because I like Dead Alive and you didn't, so.
Okay. And now, there's a few other lists that were submitted here, but I'm going to leave them for next month. Well, I have some lists that I want to get to because these were all submitted while we had already started, so we'll just wait on those for next time. By the way, if you guys notice in the List Critics channel, as I do each list, I react to them with the taupe emoji. That's just for me to check it off so I can just ask nobody else to use the taupe emoji in that channel. All right, so anyway, I do have a few lists here that I wanted to get to for us that I have curated. And let me bring up my lists here. Give me one moment, guys, because I'm not as prepared as I thought I was.
Yeah, these things happen.
Well, Facebook is just wiling out on me.
Wilding out?
Yeah, Facebook's being a dirty bitch right now. All right, here we are. Okay, so this is a fun little list that I read from Ula.com. You ever go to somebody's house to have dinner at somebody else's house, and somebody there is on some really rude shit?
Like they're just not having anything you say?
Yeah, or just somebody does something fucked up,
That sounds like every family gathering.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. So people share the rudest thing they've experienced while eating dinner at a friend's house.
Oh.
Right. Okay, so let's see. A friend of mine invited me to her lake house for a barbecue. I asked her what I could bring, and she said maybe just some drinks, but don't worry about bringing any food. We have tons of stuff. I packed some snacks to share anyway. I didn't have a car at the time, so she picked me and another friend up. I had a smoothie for breakfast in preparation for what my experience is a barbecue. Lots of food and fun. We stopped at the grocery, and I bought everything we need for fresh pina coladas. We drove to her house and were there at about 1:30 p.m. We were joined by another friend. I made pina coladas for everyone and was feeling peckish, so I also prepared a plate of pita bread and hummus to share, which I had brought from home. We sat and chatted, swam in the lake, and continued to hang out. Right now it was about 5 or 6, and I was getting starving. There was no talk of firing up the Barbie and no offer of any other snacks. The time wore on with only a few pina coladas and a bit of pita in my tummy. Her mom came home and started the grill, finally, and we took the jet ski out, hooked up to water skis. I gave it a go, had fun at least attempting to stay upright. The sun was setting, so we had to go back to the porch. I was absolutely starving by this point. It was 8 p.m. It had only been 8 hours since I left home. I had been drinking, I'd been very active, and had eaten barely more than a smoothie all day, but the food was ready. My friend stopped on the back porch facing the lake and said, I just kind of want to stay out here for a bit longer and watch the sunset. I'm not even hungry. I couldn't believe it. Not once did she ask if I or any of the other guests was hungry. Finally, we went inside and ate. She drove me home shortly after, and I felt much better to be in my own home with access to nourishment. Yeah, generally speaking, if you invite people over for a barbecue, the food is the entire point of it.
Yeah, you don't invite people over for dinner and then not give them dinner.
Yeah, make them wait 8 hours for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're going there expecting food, have the food ready.
Yeah.
But if you're going there, if food is not the intention, don't lead with it.
Say that, or don't even specify that there's going to be plenty of food. Just say,
oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is a swimming party, bring some snacks.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
There you go.
All right. My parents were not well off, but the area we lived in was extremely well off. My parents taught us manners by doing a fancy dinner in our dining room once a week. We learned how to handle a whole fish with skin on our plate and other things that we might encounter at a restaurant. We were also taught if someone else was buying dinner to choose the second or third cheapest item on the menu. Their thoughts were if you always went for the very cheapest, it would be more obvious what you were doing. Also, you always ate whatever you offered unless there was a food allergy. All of it, unless you were really, really full with no room for dessert. I was very fortunate to have friends with very kind and gracious parents. I got to experience things my parents never could afford due to their kindness and generosity. My friend and her parents are taking a trip to a large theme park. Her parents asked my parents if I can go along, and they thought it would be fun to have her as a friend. I was very lucky to go and had an absolute blast. We got to stay in a hotel that night, a total novelty to me, and there was a restaurant there and we went for dinner. I chose the second cheapest thing on the menu. It was a pasta dish. It wasn't good. At all. I silently choked it down just remembering the fun I had that day. My friend didn't like her dinner and threw a fit. A royal screaming mayhem push plates off of the table fit. She demanded a dessert. Her parents were told that they would order dessert for me, but not for her because of her behavior. She told them if that charity case gets a dessert, then I should get a better one. She didn't even order something good. Wow. Oh my God! I was stunned. I thought we were friends. I know I didn't cry, and I'm so proud of that, but my heart was broken. I decided to just be grateful for the day and never consider her a friend again.
Kids suck sometimes.
Yeah, kids are shitlords, man. That's crazy.
Kids can be cruel.
Yeah.
We can?
We can? Thanks, Mom. Yeah. All right, here's the next one. It was my friend's 40th birthday, and he and his wife hosted a dinner party for 10 friends, 4 couples, me, I was single at the time, and a single woman. So to the untrained eye, it looked like 6 couples. The single woman arrived fashionably late and had clearly preloaded beforehand. She was very self-centered and, being an attention seeker, tried to dominate the evening from the moment she arrived, diverting any attention from my friend, whose birthday it was and the reason for the gathering, to herself at every opportunity. She criticized the gifts, sneered at the anecdotes we told about my friend that he had built up over the years. I had known him since my preschool days. She was thoroughly obnoxious and crass. It was now time for the meal. She declined the starter, stating she was on a diet, but continued to help herself to the expensive drinks my friend provided. The main course arrived, and this is where the real rudeness happens. She picked at the food and pushed it around the plate and then proclaimed loudly, "This is terrible, really disgusting, I cannot eat it." The room fell silent, and she excused herself to the toilet that was located downstairs near the dining room. We all stared at each other in total silent disbelief. The silence was broken by the sound of her vomiting in the toilet. She came back in, sat down, finished her drink, and proceeded to pour herself another as we all just looked at her shocked. She turned to my friend and said, "That was so bad, I couldn't allow it to remain in my body."
Ew.
Wow. That's cold, though. My friend got up and cleared the table. He came back in about 10 minutes later to say to this awful woman, "Your taxi is here." And as he said it, he removed her glass from the table and just looked at her. She got up, said an insincere good night to us all, and my friend took her out into the awaiting taxi. Needless to say, the rest of the night went really well. And for the record, the food was excellent.
Who is this lady?
Like, I can understand if, like, the food made her sick, but she made herself throw up because she was offended by it. Like, I can't allow this to remain in my body. Wow.
Like, why was she invited if she's this evil?
Maybe they didn't know, like you sometimes work friends, you don't know if they're that terrible, right?
Work friends or somebody's relative that they had to invite.
Yeah. All right. We weren't allowed to have our friends over to the house because of this. I didn't have much experience in entertaining. We rarely went out to eat and almost never went to restaurants. If we had food we didn't make, it was from the fried chicken joint in town. It wasn't that we didn't have money. My family was comfortably off. My mother was a persnickety person and very particular about who touched her food, who stepped on her floor, who used her bathroom, and about every other thing in life. Because of this, our house wasn't much fun. Nobody wanted to come over. I was about 10 years old when this happened. My sister's friend came by after school. She lived in the country and had some sort of meeting a bit later. There was no time for her to go home and get back. It was too long to wait at the venue by herself outside. I was all excited. We had company, and I had met this friend a few times. She was a very nice person and was always kind to me. She didn't treat me like an annoying little kid. We were all just sitting around the table talking and having a glass of juice. My mother suggested that she should have something to eat before she left, and she would be hungry later. It was about 4:30, so it wasn't supper time. My mother went into the kitchen. She came back with one sandwich. One sandwich. That horrible, doughy, tasteless, cheap white bread with a cheese slice.
Ugh.
Not some nice cheddar. No, that plastic wrap processed gunk. My mother made delicious homemade bread. We always had some kind of meat in the house, often Sunday roast. It's not like there was nothing else in the house to eat. My sister's friend felt so awkward. She was supposed to sit and eat that sandwich while all the rest of us watched. Everything got immediately silent, so it was even more awkward. Imagine eating some terrible sandwich while 3 people are looking at you. All these years later, I still remember this. EB's like, "Don't look at me while that sandwich fucks my mouth."
God.
Even as a kid with no life experience, I knew this was just wrong and rude. As a guest, the friend choked back that sandwich. She definitely wasn't going to be rude. I never invited anyone to be back to the house, neither did my sister. It was too shameful and rude to put your friend through something like that.
Oh, just the sheer awkwardness of watching someone eat a horrible sandwich.
Yeah, right. Just like
Mom sucks.
Wonder Bread and like a slice of American cheese.
It's not even a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's just sad.
It's just sad, yeah. It's like an uncooked grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Yep.
My friend
spare the butter or the effort.
Yeah, right. My friend's mom was a heavy drinker, and she would be sloshed from Monday to Sunday. His dad and elder brothers took care of household chores, and his sister did most of the cooking. I remember stopping by his house one night because he had my history textbook. I arrived while his dad was dishing up, and he asked me if I wanted to stay. I declined and wanted to leave, but my friend said his dad would feel offended if I said I would take a bit because my mom gets angry if we don't eat supper at home. As we were sitting down, his mom, who was very sloshed, walked in, started swearing, threw stuff around, and then looked at me. The woman walked up to me, grabbed the side plate my food was on, asked me to get out, and said, "We don't feed welfare dogs." She took the food and threw it into the trash bin outside. I was so embarrassed and deeply hurt because she even called me a malnourished brat. I left in tears, and my friend kept apologizing and said his mom does that to everyone who comes to their house. Don't worry, she's horrible, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're just the one of many.
Yeah. Oh, Alice called it a sandwich. That sandwich from the last one, by the way.
Oh.
I left in tears, and I read that part already. My mom.
Welfare dog.
Yeah. My mom immediately knew that something was off when I walked in. I told her what had happened, and she said I shouldn't take my friend's mom serious because the woman is very unhappy and miserable. A few weeks later, she was sober, but still had the smell of a dirty drinker. We saw her in church, busy acting like nothing had happened. By then, everyone knew how she treated me at her house a few weeks before. We were sitting in front of her, and my little sister was talking a bit too loud. She grabbed my sister by the shoulder and told her to shush or she will spank her. The lady next to my mom asked her in a loud voice if she needed a drink because she seems miserable even when she was sober. She never ever greeted us again after the church incident. Damn.
Nice, I guess.
Wow. Cold. All right.
Oh my God.
When I was about 10 or 11 years old, my friend Megan invited me to stay for dinner at her house. While my family wasn't poor, Megan's family was definitely more well off. I called my parents to ask for permission, and my dad said it was okay to have dinner at my friend's house, but he was making a roast, so I'd be missing out on a great meal. My dad was a great cook. When I found out Megan's mom was also making a roast, I thought it was a funny coincidence and told her that my dad was making a roast also. She told me I was lying because we couldn't afford roast and men don't cook. Oh, man.
What?
Wow. I was taught not to talk back or to correct adults, so I just turned away and went back to playing with their dog. A couple of minutes before dinner, I went to wash my hands and came back, and everyone was seated in their chairs at the dinner table with china, silverware, and glasses. They had a place setting for me with a paper plate, plastic utensils, and a stool at an awkward corner of the table. They had more chairs and more dishes and silverware, but chose to treat me worse than themselves. I was raised to always give guests the best of what I had, so I felt especially bad sitting there on a hard stool eating with my paper and plastic while everyone else had dishes and silverware. When dinner ended, the house rule was that everyone had to put their dishes in the dishwasher. Well, I didn't have dishes, so I threw my paper plate and plastic utensils away. Then they served dessert, but not to me. The house rule is that you only got dessert if you put your dishes in the dishwasher. I didn't even have dishes, which I would have preferred, and would have happily put everyone's dishes in the dishwasher. By the time my parents came to get me, I was on the verge of tears. I felt like I was being punished when I did nothing wrong. I later found out other friends had the same experience when having dinner there, so it wasn't because I was rude or misbehaved, it was because they were awful people.
Fucking technicalities.
So many of these things are just like rich people being, or more well-off people being awful to people
It's
who
true,
aren't
yeah.
as well-off.
Alice says
having to feed the lowly peasants.
Yeah. The dessert was probably nasty anyway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Maddox says, we call this being the 50th wheel. All right. The year was 1984. I had just moved 1,200 miles to start a new job after a divorce. Unfortunately, this put me within 30 miles of my family. Damn. When you say that way, we all know how that's going to go, right? It was Thanksgiving. My mother guilt-tripped me into attending. This was the last time I fell for that ploy. Now, the women on both sides of my family all have one thing in common: gossip. If you tell them anything, they are compelled to tell everyone they know, each of them distorting the facts to fit their own agenda. When they're confronted, they deny, gaslight, or try to justify their lying. I planned to arrive late and leave early. As soon as I entered, I was ushered into the living room. There were no men present. The men were in the basement bar room watching football. I said my hellos and excused myself to join the men. Several women physically blocked my way, saying they hadn't seen me for ages and wanted to talk. They immediately began to pump me for details of my divorce. Whose fault was it? Who would get custody of my son? Did she have a boyfriend? I successfully sidestepped all the questions. No matter, the questions kept flying. My mother was barely able to contain her anger, saying, "Walter, your aunt asked you a question. Answer her." My frustration was nearly at the breaking point. Alice says this sounds like their family. I'm sorry to hear that, Alice. Damn. I had just moved, gone through a divorce, and started a new successful job. I politely as I could excused myself to use the bathroom. I then headed for the bar. In a few minutes, my mother called downstairs for my father. When he returned, he was very angry and ordered me to return to the living room and speak to the woman. The interrogation restarted. Finally, I just stood up and told them I would not discuss my private business with them. They cried out almost in unison, "But your family." I wished them all happy holidays, went to fix a drink, and discreetly slipped out the back door. As I started my car, one of my cousins stuck her head out of the door, turned back into the house, and yelled loudly enough for me to hear in my car, "Quick, he's getting away."
Jeez,
Wow.
yes.
Just in case you thought this person was distorting it a bit and maybe they were being an asshole, right?
Yeah.
Last family gathering I ever attended, barring funerals.
That's leveling on levels of cartoonery almost.
Yeah, quick, he's getting away. It's like an episode of Married with Children right there.
It's like, well, was he
Yeah.
only invited to be the entertainment?
That's what it sounds like. All right, we got one more here. Well, growing up and all through high school, I was socially inept, so my older sister would often take me along with her to hang out with her friends. Whenever she invited me to someone's house or an event, she would ask if she could bring me along. One time, when I was a teenager, one of my sister's friends, who we shall call Bob, well, why don't we, let's not call him Bob, let's call him Carl.
Okay.
Let's call him Carl. Carl had gotten access to another friend's apartment. Carl and his girlfriend, another couple, were going to stay this weekend at the apartment, and they thought it would be fun if they had a party. So Carl invited other friends over for a dinner party Friday evening. When he extended the invitation to my sister, she was pleasantly surprised when he said, "And bring your sister too." He had invited me on his own, and she didn't have to ask if I could tag along. When we arrived, Carl and his girlfriend greeted us at the door. The girlfriend said, "Oh, I'm glad you brought your sister." Carl looked at me and said to his girlfriend, "I see her as a giant $sign." Huh? My sister and I were really puzzled by this remark. At least we were until after dinner. There was a generous spread of food and drinks at the dinner party. Carl and his girlfriend had gone all out and made a bunch of entrees. Everything was wonderful, and we were having a lot of fun. After we finished dinner and were about to start on desserts, Carl took out a bunch of receipts and placed them in the middle of the table. "So, guys, it works out to $18.36 per person." Apparently, Carl wanted us all to chip in for the party. This was in the late 80s, and the amount was quite a bit. At least it was for my sister and me. It was more than my sister and I usually spent per person eating out, and a lot more than we spent per person for groceries or on a meal. At the time, $18 and change cost over 5 hours of work at my part-time job. I wouldn't have been so mad if Carl had told us beforehand that we'd have to pay a share in the cost of the party, but Carl didn't tell us in advance, and we didn't even have any say in what they had purchased. It was then that my sister and I understood Bob's comment at the door. By coming along, I reduced the amount each person, including Carl, would have to pay. To top it off, a quick glance at the receipt showed that we were helping to pay for a portion of the groceries that they had stocked for the weekend. It was a rude surprise ending to a nice dinner, not to mention really cheap.
Yes.
Man, talk about a shitty person.
You know, I gotta be honest, that didn't go the way I thought it would. When he said, "Oh, I see you as a $sign," I thought he was gonna like whip out some essential oils or something and try to sell them shit stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, no,
like,
shit.
Yeah, like, "Oh, let me tell you about these Cutco knives or some shit."
I got
right?
ambushed at my grandmother made me tag along with her to a party that her friend was having. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be like some snacks and stuff. We get there and it's that pampered chef shit.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Which is what her friend wanted her to bring me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Alice. I would just leave. Like, fuck you then. All right. This one's from Ruin My Week. Now, have you guys ever seen this app called Nextdoor?
No.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
What is
it's like a social media for whatever your current neighborhood is. Like, you share your location, and then like it's like
Lord.
Yeah, it's like a Facebook group for just like people that live in your area, like for neighbors to post.
Oh, I don't want
It's
that.
basically just local gossip.
So I looked at it once, and it was like the most toxic shit. You know, it was like, "I saw this person walking on the road. Who is it?" You know, that kind of shit, you know? It was all bullshit. So this is 35 unhinged Nextdoor app posts. Now, I haven't looked at this, but I've looked at the real app, and it's pretty bad. Yeah, so I can only imagine. So let's see. So this one says, "Fireworks or gunshots? Was that fireworks or gunshots that just went off?" And somebody replied, "I was shooting my gun at the fireworks."
I like that.
Fair enough. Number 2. People, when you're sitting in the comfort of your own home watching porn, apparently on a soundbar from what info I can get, you may not realize that you are broadcasting it through my Samsung Smart Hub refrigerator. Please disconnect from my device. You know, it's one hell of a thing when you put a stick of pepperoni in your fridge and it starts moaning at you.
Ah.
Oh, God.
All right, number 3. So embarrassing. I just want to say thank you to the lady that walked with me this morning with both of our dogs. I did not realize you were not the gal I was supposed to be walking with. Just this week I joined a walking group, and today was my first day. When I ran into you, I really thought you were the gal I was supposed to be meeting. I did not mean to stalk you all the way to your house, and thank you for listening to my crazy life story about my broken computer and teaching first grade and distance learning. All I know is she teaches 5th grade in Rancho. As soon as she walked into her house, Jody, the lady I was supposed to be meeting, called asking if they had missed me. Imagine my surprise when I realized I was walking and talking with a complete stranger. Anyway, thank you for walking with me, and if you know who you are, please PM me so I can assure you I am not a total nutcase, and maybe we can start walking with the group too. Sorry again.
Well, that's kind of wholesome.
It's a bit long, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like I am very normal sort of thing.
Yes. Hello, fellow humans.
Yeah.
Both alarming and sweet. It's
At the
like
same
you're not
time.
sure which way to go.
Yeah. Nightly visitor. That's my friend I called George Jones. It's a picture of a possum, by the way. He's been visiting me nightly since he was a tiny little guy some months ago. He eats slugs and fleas and a few other pests in my yard. I say hello, George, and he crawls right up close to me and sniffs around. He's my buddy now. He was trapped inside a trash can once as a juvenile, and I let him out. I think he remembers I saved him. He's a cool friend now.
Aww.
That one's kind of wholesome. Like, look at my possum friend. I'm going to post it for all the neighbors to see.
That's
I want
nice.
a possum friend.
Yeah. Oh, God. Gus's big find in GG Park today. Gus is his dog. I want you to imagine this in your head, okay? Gus finds balls in Golden Gate Park on almost every week, sometimes two, but today he found something a little different, though peripherally related if one's mind goes there. He was thrilled and proud, trotting to anyone who was nearby to show off his find while it bounced around in his mouth. I was laughing so hard, I was crying, so I was not very good at getting him to drop it. Hilarious yet horrifying and completely gross. He will not be kissing me on the face for at least the next decade. And anyone who didn't quite get it, the dog found a dildo.
I knew this. That's where it was going when he said it was peripherally related to balls.
To balls, yeah. All right. This one. Message to the thief. To the person who stole my plant and stand from my front porch, grow up. I hope you get diarrhea and stub your toe really hard. Don't walk by my house again. Nobody likes you. To my deceased grandmother who was the original owner of the plant, please kill the plant. It is not at home anymore.
Wow.
Tell me how you really feel, right? All right.
Interesting insults. Just diarrhea and a stub toe.
Yeah. Number 7. To whomever called 911 on the marijuana plants in my front yard, they are tomato plants, you imbecile. Next time you feel the need to stuff up the emergency line with absolute garbage, try 311. That's the non-emergency line. You're welcome. And by the way, a picture is included of what is obviously a tomato plant.
They got big old ripe ones on there.
They're like the little cherry tomatoes, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, number 8. Oh, God. So Tina says, I would love to have a Trump and Cruz sign in my yard. Where do we get them? And then Ryan says, Jim Crow's campaign office has some. Oh, shit. And then Tina says, where is that? And then Ryan says, 1950 Segregation Street.
How do I get there?
And then she writes, not coming up on navigation. Is it in Austin? And Alice had guessed correctly. That was in Texas. Austin, Texas. 1950 Segregation Street. Oh, my God. All right. Number 9. I'm quarantining, but I'm out of sugar for my coffee. If someone could stop by with 1/3 cup in sandwich baggie and leave it on my doorstep, that'd be great. Make sure to write not cocaine on the bag. Yeah.
Just write cocaine on it.
Yeah, just write, this is totally not cocaine, you guys. Write it like that. Number 10. Someone keeps delivering soup to my house with a note that says, soup for my perfect little soup boy. I appreciate the free food, but I don't even like soup. Please stop this.
That's just creepy.
That is creepy. Oh, God.
Soup boy.
Perfect little soup boy.
It sounds like he doesn't like it, so he didn't need it. I wouldn't need it.
That reminds me of a comment I saw today. You know, that the lock-picking lawyer, he was showing, how to break some kind of lock or something, right? And this one comment said, that's great. I'm going to break into my neighbor's house, toast all his bread, and then put it back in the bag. It's like it's Alice is like, I like soup, but I don't like that.
I kind of want a shirt that has like a good bowl of soup, and it just says
perfect little soup boy. Yeah, that would be good. All right, number 11. Need to rehome a dog. Small terrier tends to bark a lot. If interested, let me know, and I'll jump over my neighbor's fence and get it for you. Nice.
Bum.
Oh, this is similar to the other one. So Emily here writes, Ted Cruz sign. Where can I get a Ted Cruz sign for my mom's yard? Thanks. And then Mitty writes, I understand they have a large supply of Ted Cruz signs down in hell. Go there to get one.
Yikes. Right to the point.
Yeah. Good one.
Well, it's clever, but
Yeah, not as clever, but more to the point. Didn't try to string her along. Just told her to go to hell. All right, number 13. Poll. Why is this a poll? I need a nanny. I am looking for a nanny in the neighborhood for my 3 years old. I need it in the afternoons, Monday, Thursday, the times. Any hope and appreciate it. I wrote a poll, and it says choose one, and one choice is Monday through Thursday and the times, and the other choice is $15 an hour. Well,
That's
shit.
weird.
I'll just take the money then, right?
they're paying like at least minimum wage.
It's a good yeah. Oh, where they want it for free or for like $1, yeah.
Yeah, like $2 an hour, which, as somebody pointed out, if somebody was willing to watch your kids for that little, would you want them?
You don't want them around your kids then, yeah. Has my driveway been marked by some kind of satanic cult or what? It doesn't seem like a spot where any utilities would be. Just a couple of like chalk arrows pointing towards what is obviously like a sewer grate. So
I've seen those before, and I'm like, that's close, but
You know what's funny is that's the kind of post that I saw when I was like any kind of thing was like something ominous, you know.
Yeah. God forbid they have kids who draw chalk on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Oh, this is it's another poll. Poll, does anyone have any bird seed? And choose one. There's 4 choices. One says recommendations, another says yes, another says I do, and the other says no. Like with a question mark.
It's why? It's so weird. Just leave it blank.
I don't know why they put polls when they don't need to be polls. Number 16, TikTok. Hello, friends. I would like to get the application TikTok. It seems like it would be a lot of fun to make videos with it. My nephew made my Nextdoor application for me, but says he will not make me a TikTok application because I'm too old. I did not know there was an age limit. How do I make the application myself? Thank you for the assistance. God bless.
Aww.
To make it yourself?
Yeah, well,
Nephew's mean.
Old,
let the boomer on.
Yeah, right. Old people don't understand how phones work, so Yeah, let them go on TikTok. There's a lot of old people on TikTok.
My favorite's like this driver who got a truck driver. He's really old. He's in his 70s.
Yeah.
His wife got him a kitten to keep him company, and he adores that cat. And he's posting updates of himself in his truck with this cat.
Yeah.
Aww.
All right.
So wholesome.
So this one, Heidi writes, artwork for sale. 3 almost identical paintings of the sunset, very rare. These were painted in a paint with wine class, and the teacher of the class praised all 3 at different points. 2 were wine influenced, and 1 was done by a sober painter. One of the artists was visiting from the Midwest. Each is $150 individually, or $400 for all 3. And then Michael writes, this is so stupid, no one is going to buy these.
Oh.
My grandmother goes to classes like that. She just comes home and either throws the painting away or gives them to people who want them.
Might as well just go to a wine tasting at that point, right?
She doesn't go to ones that have wine. They're like legitimate painting classes.
Oh, okay.
But they're held at like the house of somebody she knows.
Okay.
So it's like a small, intimate thing. Which
the
woman
all right. We gotta,
had a stroke.
I gotta say, we do gotta, like, because it's like almost that time, we gotta finish this list.
Yeah.
So let me just get through the rest of it. Number 18, happy Thanksgiving to everyone except Phil. Every one of you except Phil are wonderful neighbors. I'm happy to be a part of this community.
Fucking Phil.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Number 19, Monterey here writes, Christmas lights. Hello, I know everyone loves this type of year, but can we please be considerate of some of us and please cut your lights off at 7:30 p.m. My cats are trying to sleep and they find the lights distracting.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay. Number 20, urgent alert. Hi. That's the whole thing. That's what Gerb wrote. And then Patrick wrote, hey, Gerb, do you understand urgent alerts aren't for just saying hi? And then Gerb wrote, hi, Patrick, do you understand I'm trying to make friends?
Oh, that's just kind of sad now.
Yeah. Number 21, Sharon here writes, whoever just told my dog to shut the fuck up needs to come to my house and speak to me or my husband directly.
I've told a number of neighborhood dogs to shut the fuck up. Maybe not directly, but when you go on for 10 minutes, it's like, all right.
Here's number 22 is another extraneous poll. There's a picture of a mushroom, and it says, can someone identify this mushroom? And the choices are please and help.
Oh, they don't know how to poll.
Number 23, Stephanie here wrote, please be advised, I will call 911 when street fireworks begin. Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to love you. Number 24, Ruth here writes, I bought a black light. If anyone is looking for me this weekend, I will be scrubbing the house using the black light as a guide. Ew.
Ugh.
Why do your neighbors need to know that? All right.
Maybe they just moved in.
Maybe, I don't know. And this is number 25, is the last one. John here writes, gas bill. Our gas bill for November was $94. And then Jeff writes, and? With like 15 exclamation
Just letting you know.
Yeah, oh. It's not your blog, John. All right, guys, at a 25, what do you say? I mean, I'm going to say 25. These are all amazing.
I genuinely had a good time. I got to give it a perfect 25.
A lot of fun, yeah.
I'd say 25.
I had a few more really fun lists, but we do got to stop here because I know some people are going to want to run over an anime night. So, guys, why don't you say goodbye while I get up Raid ready?
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. Please come next month when we'll be doing this whole shebang-a-bang again. And, until next time, I guess.
Indeed. And we're going to be rating Starfiend, who's playing Horizon Zero Dawn. So let's go.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, Alice.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Evie.
_. Fiend. Yep. And so next month we'll have we'll definitely have to have you back at some point. But next month the plan is to have Riddle. He was supposed to be here today, but like I said, he got Storona. All right.
Maybe I won't be riddled with infection next time.
Hey, let's do a raid call. Let's see. I give this a Joe Turok out of 10.
Fucking Joe Turok.
Joey T's.
Joey T. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on Discord. We'll see you guys next month for more List Critics. And, of course, tomorrow night I will be streaming Robo Trek. And away we go.